You're listening to The Zone, ESPN Radio, 1600 AM, Cedar Rapids.
We now leave our network programming to bring you the following special sports presentation.
Cedar Rapids Kernels, the good times roll.
Play ball! Are you ready to let the good times roll?
Are you ready for Kernels Baseball?
The Zone, ESPN Radio, 1600 AM, and the Class A affiliate of the Anaheim Angels welcome you to Cedar Rapids Kernels Baseball. Now, in his ninth season as the voice of the Kernels, here's Todd Rogers.
What a glorious Friday evening it is. Memorial Day weekend kicks off with a wonderful evening. Arthur Elementary School is here, and the Kernels are going to play the Lansing Lugnuts, the Class A Midwest League affiliate of the Chicago Cubs. If there was ever a intriguing series, this will be the one. The Kernels, the leading home run hitting team in the Midwest League, second in the league in hitting, taking on a Lansing ball club that's third in the league in home runs, fourth in the league in steals, and most importantly, the Lugnuts lead the league in pitching. They have the best team ERA in the Midwest League. We'll have a big crowd here tonight, and remember that we'll wrap up the 11-game homestand on Monday, Memorial Day itself, with a 2 o'clock game. Up next, as we do always on Friday, Bobby Magallanes, the Kernel skipper, answers your questions on the Dugout Interview. You're listening to Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
Quiznos Kernels Kids Club members. Did you know that your Quiznos Kernels Kids Club membership card is good for more than just great deals at the ballpark? That's right. By showing your Quiznos Kernels Kids Club membership card at any of the Cedar Rapids Quiznos, you'll receive a free small drink when you buy a Quiznos sub. That's a free small drink with the purchase of a Quiznos sub when you show your Quiznos Kernels Kids Club card.
Quiznos, Toasty. Who's that cool cooking man? King of the grill, who's your patio?
Your patio.
Charbroiled, sausage flipping man with the buns. Who's your patio?
Your patio. You make them slim, number one for taste and fun.
Econo Foods is the place to save on Clement's fine products this week. Shop Econo Foods for hot pricing on Clement.
First up on Friday, as we welcome the Lansing Lugnuts, the Class A Midwest League affiliate of the Chicago Cubs, to the new Veterans Memorial Stadium. We have a question for Bobby from Hiawatha's Scott. Scott would like to know, Bobby, how you go about preparing your lineup for a couple of teams in the league, Clinton and Dayton, that piggyback their pitchers, meaning that they could start a righty and then go with a lefty 4 innings each, or vice versa. Do you have to give it some thought, Bobby, or do you just say, well, who knows who's going to be out there?
Yeah, I try to see who's starting that day, lefty, righty. What I try to do, I try to see who's going to go the most innings. Usually the guy who's starting will go the first 5 innings, maybe 6, and then the guy who's piggybacking will go the last 4 or 3. Yeah, as a matter of fact, yesterday Dayton had a lefty starting. And next thing you know, we're meeting out at the home plate. I see a right-hander warming up. I ask the manager, hey, what happened? And he looks, the lefty is supposed to start. And he had the lefty in the lineup, which ends up being that all he did was cross him out to put the righty in there. But, yeah, I did have my left-handed lineup. But you know what? Let's talk about that a little bit. I had a left-handed lineup in there, and with the right-hander pitching, and we just went off. So that goes that theory of lefty-righty. You're right, Bobby. We looked up and saw Dirk Urson and said, that guy's not a lefty from the state of Vermont. And it threw us for a loop, too. And I said, oh, there's Matt Abram who feeds the left-hand pitching. And I thought, oh, I hope Bobby isn't looking up here thinking Rogers can't even get a lineup right. But even the manager seemed at home plate. He didn't even know who was starting. Yeah, there was some miscommunication between him and the pitching coach. He felt bad about it. But, I mean, again, that goes to show you where you can throw that out the door, lefty-righty. Yeah, the Kernels with the Taco Bell 10 spot yesterday, an 11-1 dropping of Dayton. And remember, yes, this evening you can stop by any of the Cedar Rapids Taco Bells and tell them you're there for the Taco Bell Kernel 10 spot and get up to 10 beef tacos for just 39 cents each. That's 50 cents off the regular price. Bobby up to the plate next from western Iowa. It's not too far from Airport National Golf Course. I had to look it up on a map. Bethany of western Iowa wants to know
Who signals for a pickoff attempt of a runner leading off second base? Is it the pitcher, the catcher, or one of the middle infielders?
At second or at first base, what was the question?
At second base, Bobby, those daylight plays that you see.
It's the middle infielder will signal for it. Either the shortstop or second baseman will give a sign to the pitcher to let him know, hey, this guy's getting too much. You know what? Keep an eye on him. He looks like he wants to steal, or just flat out give him just a sign saying, okay, we're going to pick on this pitch right here. And the middle infielder's job is to keep the runner close, but also it's the pitcher's job to look at the runners, make sure they don't have a big lead.
Bobby, is the signal something that's fairly subtle, or could a good sign stealer or a guy at second base notice it? How difficult is it to disguise a sign from a middle infielder to a pitcher?
Well, you try to be subtle about it as a middle infielder to pitcher. But, anytime, when I'm coaching third base, I'm always looking at the middle infielder, see if they do something. Just, rubbing their hands, taking their glove off, just making eye contact with the pitcher, can be a sign of. But, you try to be subtle, not to give it away.
Those are the first two questions to Colonel Manager Bobby Magallanes on this beautiful Friday evening as we welcome the Lansing Lugnuts to town. The Kernels have had a terrific homestand, 5-2, and come on out and be a part of the fun over Memorial Day weekend starting this evening. A lovely night for baseball. We'll take a timeout on the Ask the Manager show, and one more for Colonel Manager Bobby Magallanes still ahead. You're listening to Colonel Baseball on the Zone.
Been looking to buy a used car, truck, or van? If so, head Select Auto now. All vehicles are priced to sell with bottom line pricing. Monthly bills getting you down? Can't afford the car of your dreams? No problem. Select Auto offers payment plans to fit around your budget. Select Auto also offers great warranties on all cars, not to mention their experienced and friendly staff in their full-service service department. Hate being chased around the lot by those annoying salespeople? At Select Auto, you won't be bothered by any salespeople. You deal directly with the owners. Got bad credit? Not a problem. They offer financing for any credit, good or bad. Still not sold? Purchase any used car over $5,000 and get $200 in free gas. Hurry in, this deal only lasts during the month of May. What are you waiting for? Visit either of Select Auto's two convenient locations on 1st Avenue downtown Cedar Rapids or on 7th Avenue in Marion. Select Auto, a great way to buy a pre-owned car.
Bobby, finally this evening, Laverne from Monticello, Iowa, would like to know what our hitter will see or experience here on Memorial Day, Monday afternoon, if indeed plans go through for Major Leaguer Ryan Dempster to hurl against us. What will be different about him than what they see on a daily basis here in our own Midwest League?
We're going to see a lot of strikes. As a matter of fact, it's pretty common when a big leaguer comes in rehab in the low minor leagues for that big league pitcher to kind of get hit around. These players are going to see a big league pitcher out there. They're just going to lick their chops and be so aggressive. They're not intimidated. They're just so excited. And again, that major league pitcher is rehabbing. He's just trying to work on his control, his command, hitting his spots, and it's a rehab assignment. He's not going to have the same intensity, and they kind of tend to leave pitches out over the plate where they can get hit. But they're going to see a lot of strikes, our hitters, and hopefully they'll be ready.
And Bobby, that you explained why they'll see a lot of strikes, and this is not at all a slap at the pitching in A ball. The Midwest League has great pitching and great baseball, but we do have quite a few guys, because they're second or third year pitchers, who throw a lot of pitches in the dirt. I feel sorry for some of the catchers in our league because they're black and blue after every game. Guys don't have as much command of their changeup, their breaking pitch. You're saying that you expect Ryan Dempster, because he's a big leaguer, to probably have pretty good control.
Yeah, I think they'll if he pitches that day, he'll have control. That's one of the reasons why he's up there. Else he wouldn't be up there if he didn't have the command of all of his pitches. But you're right. They the pitchers at this level, one of the reasons why they're here is because of the lack of command. It's not their ability, it's not their talent. They got the stuff, they just haven't been able to command all their pitches. But the big league pitchers, the reason why they're there is because not only do they have good stuff, they can command their pitches.
Bobby, I go back to 1997. Rockford was in this league. They were the Rockford Cubbies, and our Kernels with Mario Mendoza as our skipper, we got to face Kevin Tapani. And Kevin Ham got a hit off Kevin Tapani, and if I can remember that, I know Hammy sure does, if some of our guys get on base against Ryan Dempster, I bet they'll remember it the rest of their career.
I think they will. That's what they shoot for. These are the guys that they see on TV. All of a sudden now they're facing them. It's an exciting thing. And, it's 60 feet, 6 inches away. They're using the same baseballs. Once that pitcher throws it, it's not the pitcher anymore. That's the ball and the hitter. That pitcher's got no more control of that pitch once it's out of the hand. So I think our hitters are going to be prepared.
That's a great way to look at it, Bobby. Kind of a lesson from the movie Hoosiers. Bobby Magianis, thank you so much for this time. We cherish it every Friday. I think next Friday will be in Burlington or South Bend. I'll have to check the itinerary. But, Bobby, thanks so much on this Memorial Day weekend for fielding these questions from our fans. A $5 gift certificate for you to enjoy homemade pasta, perfect bread at any of our area's Zio Giano's Italian spaghetti houses. Bobby, thanks so much.
Thank you, John.
Up next, the start lineups, Game 1 of the Kernel and Lugnut series. Okay, we're going to go with Bob for tomorrow night in 3.
Well, we had a little bit of a snafu at the end, but we will have the starting lineups on this gorgeous Friday evening. The Kernels and Lansing Lugnuts, a key series here on Memorial Day weekend. Both teams playing very well. The Kernels 27-19, Lansing 28-19. Wonderful night for baseball, and Colonel Broadcast Assistant Matt Moss and I will rejoin you in just a minute with this evening's starting lineups. You're listening to Colonel Baseball on the Zone.
Toyota Financial Services of Cedar Rapids understands the importance of reading in the lives of our community's children. That's why they're proud to fund the 6th annual Toyota Financial Services Kernel Summer Reading Program. The generous support of Toyota Financial Services will result in Kernel players conducting a record 32 elementary school assemblies this spring to encourage girls and boys to read throughout the summer. Their reading accomplishments will be recognized by Toyota Financial Services with fabulous rewards. Toyota Financial Services, a true hero to Kernels and the youth of our community.
Who cares what's in a hot dog? This country was built on the principle that wretched refuse could be made great. So when the tofu obsessed among us ask what the hot dog is made of, well, the High Life man turns the question back on the questioner. You, sir, what are you made of? What spice do you add to the national knockwurst? No, you do not ask of the hot dog. The hot dog asks of you. Are you man enough to live the high life? Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, USA.
The tossing out of the Liberty Bank Kernel autograph baseballs. That's why you hear the ruckus in the background. We're glad this baseball park, this beautiful new Veterans Memorial Stadium, is alive and well on Memorial Day weekend. Arthur Elementary School night will have a couple of students visit us during the 4th inning of the series opener, the Kernels and the Chicago Cub minor leaguers, the Lansing Lugnuts. Thanks for inviting us into your house, your car, your front porch, your place of work on Memorial Day weekend. We're going to set the starting lineups first for the Lansing Lugnuts. Their skipper is Julio Garcia, and he's guided Lansing to a very good first half record of 28-19. The Lugnuts are right on the heels of the South Bend Silverhawks in the Eastern Division first half race, just 2 games back of South Bend. Leading off is the league's leading base stealer, Chris Walker, in center field, 24 steals for Lansing. Batting second is the Lugnut shortstop, Carlos Rojas. Brian Doperic is at first base, batting third for Lansing. Hitting cleanup is Kevin Collins, and he's in left field for Lugnuts. His .336 average, 4th best in the league. Batting fifth and catching is Alan Rick. The Lugnut second baseman leads the league in triples with 6. He bats 6, and it's Robinson Chirinos. Chirinos at second base, hitting 6th. Drew Larson's the designated hitter, batting 7th. Hitting 8th at the hot corner, Alberto Garcia. He's played in just 6 games for Lansing. And batting 9th is Carlos Mejia in right field. On the hill for the Lugnuts is a fellow who was drafted by the Cubs as a catcher out of Southwestern Illinois College, a 38th round pick by the Cubs in 2002, and that's what he started his pro career as, a catcher. But he's now been converted to a hurler, and his record is 1-4. This is his 8th start. Randy Wells, right-hander, 21 years old, big guy, 6'4", 210, making his 8th start of the year, a 1-4 record with a 5.26 ERA. Allen Motor Company is now proud to present the Allen Motor Company Kernel starting lineup. And I've got the wrong, there we go. Allen Motor Company proud to bring us the Allen Motor Company Kernel starting lineup. And we want to encourage you to visit Allen Motor Company in the next several weeks because they have a fabulous promotion going on. It's their 101st year birthday bash. That means if you buy now at Allen's, your first year's maintenance is on them. That's only at Allen's during their 101st year birthday bash. Your first year's maintenance on Allen's. With the Allen Motor Company Kernels starting lineup, broadcast assistant Matt Moss.
Leading off for the Kernels tonight, the left fielder, Quan Cosby. Batting second, the second baseman, Howie Kendrick. Kendrick has 14 doubles, which has garnered him fourth place in the Midwest League. Batting in the third spot is catcher Bobby Wilson. Wilson has hit safely in 14 of the last 15 games. The cleanup batter is third baseman Matt Brown. Matt Brown has 8 home runs in the last 12 games. Batting fifth, the first baseman Matt Pauley. Batting sixth is shortstop Sean Rodriguez. Rodriguez has lifted his average from 170 to 277 in the last 18 games. Batting seventh, right fielder Blake Balcom. Batting eighth is the center fielder Nick Himpton, and batting in the ninth spot is designated hitter Aaron Peel. The starter for the Kernels tonight is Adel Moreno. In 8 starts, Moreno has a record of 3 wins and 2 losses. In 43 and 2/3 innings, he's given up 39 hits, fanned 48, and walked 10. He has an earned run average of 4.12.
Well, the stage is set. The Lugnut lineups. Matt Moss bringing you the Allen Motor Company Kernels starting lineup. And Anderson and Brown Eye Care, proud to present this series and tonight's umpiring duo. Anderson and Brown Eye Care is your family eye care center. Anderson Brown Eye Care is great with children. And Anderson and Brown Eye Care is our area's leader in ocular health prevention and management. The umpiring duo, Bob Davidson will call the balls and strikes, and Chris Bocke will be on the diamond. And some of you real diehard baseball fans will recognize the name Bob Davidson. I'll be checking with Mike Kubek this weekend to get a little more background on Bob. Mike is our Director of Public Relations and Marketing, and essentially Bob Davidson spent a number of years in the big leagues umpiring, and then there was a labor dispute, and he and several other umpires were essentially fired, like the air traffic controllers when they walked out on their jobs back in the early 80s. Ronald Reagan had no choice but to fire them because it was in their contract that they couldn't go on strike. Well, something similar happened to Bob Davidson. He was essentially fired by Major League Baseball in a labor dispute, and Bob Davidson is working his way back up as far as he can, trying to recapture the glory of being a big league umpire. In fact, he's already made friends with one of the Cost Cutters Dream Team members from Arthur Elementary School. Bob Davidson, a longtime big league umpire, 52 years old, will be working this series. And we'll check with our Director of Marketing and Public Relations, Mike Kubek, and see if Bob has just been inundated with newspapermen and media sorts like us radio broadcasters. And if he has, we'll respect his right to kind of do his job. But if he's able and willing and hasn't been just flooded with interview requests, we'll sure hope to have him as our dugout interview guest. Matt Moss, does the name Bob Davidson ring a bell to you?
That does sound familiar, John.
Yeah, and I'd love to get the background on his comeback march. Well, the Kernels have taken the field, and they've joined their Cost Cutters Dream Team members from Arthur Elementary School. We're going to pause now on this very special weekend, Memorial Day weekend. The Arthur 5th grade chorus and the Arthur Orphs from Arthur Elementary will be singing the Star Spangled Banner.
Ladies and gentlemen, America, please join in the singing of the national anthem. Gentlemen, please with your caps. The national anthem is being performed this evening along with America the Beautiful by the national anthem is being performed this evening by the 5th grade chorus of Arthur Elementary.
Oh,
can tell by the crowd's reaction, we have a big crowd here tonight. It will continue to grow as the evening progresses. And just a great way to mark Memorial Day weekend with a very pivotal series for both the Kernels and the Lansing Lugnuts. The Kernels, the Class A Midwest League affiliate of the 2002 World Champion Anaheim Angels. And I'm sure there are a few Cub fans here this evening to see future Cubs as Lansing Lugnuts. The Arthur students who served as our Cost Cutters Dream Team this evening are scurrying off the diamond. There's a number of cute little boys and girls who got the thrill of taking the field with the Kernels as the Cost Cutters Dream Team. Everything is set to go. The Kernels on a lovely evening to take on Lansing. Bev Taylor's our in-studio engineer. We'll enjoy tonight's game together in a moment. You're tuned to Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
Hey, man, what's up? Just getting ready to kick your butt. Right. And mess up your hair? You just wish you could look this good. Boo! Nothing but net. Hey, I'm a busy guy. I don't have time to make my hair look as good as yours. I mean, who has time to schedule an appointment, let alone show up for it? Not me. I just go to Cost Cutters. I can get in whenever it's convenient for me. Nice shot. Yeah. So you're telling me you just walk into Cost Cutters and come out looking good? Well, for some of us, that comes naturally. But Cost Cutters makes it easier. They can do anything you want. A cool cut, even some color, and get some of that styling gel stuff to keep you looking good. Like me. Oh, so that's why your hair never moves. Oh, you're funny. Cost Cutters. Thanks, man. This will save me some time. Great. Then you'll have time to work on your game. Oh, yeah, that's funny.
Are you a busy guy? Save yourself time and walk into one of our area's 12 Cost Cutters whenever it's convenient for you. Then relax, because Cost Cutters will make things easy and affordable for you.
Cost Cutters. Live your life. We always have time for your hair.
You can't do much better than a 70-degree sunshine start to the Memorial Day weekend. And that's what we have here. The Kernels are back in their usual all-white home uniforms with red letters trimmed in black, red socks. They're all red caps. Yesterday, of course, the noon game drew our biggest crowd of the year, over 3,400. The Kernels sported their red knit batting practice tops for the first time this season, and that helped them en route to an 11-1 clubbing of the Dayton Dragons at Taco Bell 10 spot. The Lansing Lugnuts, on the other hand, well, Matt Moss, I would say that their road uniforms resemble a little bit the Atlanta Brave road uniforms.
Yeah, John, they got a lot of that dark gray and red. No Cubby blue to be seen.
Isn't that something? And Scott Unash mentioned on the broadcast yesterday that a lot of the minor league teams like to establish their own identities a little bit separate from their affiliate in terms of copying their exact uniform type. The Kernels have taken a different tact. We look just like our parent club with our fonts and our color scheme, and I like that approach. But Lansing is in that Atlanta Brave like red and black. Abel Marino turns around, apparently an object, well, a baseball out right center field. Don't know where that came from, but puffing over to get it is Nick Himpton. And we're just about set for the game's first pitch. Chris Walker. Boy, the Cubs have to be excited about this guy. Ordinarily, the Cubs build their team because of Wrigley Field and the friendly confines around power, but this guy's a speedster. And the first pitch, high and away, a fastball from Abel Marino, 21-year-old right-hander, born in Haiti, lives in the Dominican Republic. And his next pitch is a strike called. Walker hitting .285. 1 homer, 14 RBIs. Chris is a left-handed batter. And he nubs one foul to the base of the backstop. He's not a big guy, 5'8", 175. 6th-round pick of Chicago. In 2002, went to Georgia Southern University. The 1-2 from Marino. Ooh, it hit the batter, and there's the leading base stealer aboard here in the top of the first inning. Abel Marino ahead of the batter 1-2, and he came a little bit too far inside, and that's not the way the Kernels wanted to start this game, putting the leading base stealer aboard, but perhaps we can wiggle out of this. Carlos Rojas, a right-handed hitter with a .234 average, no homers, 13 RBIs. Slightly closed stance. He does not wear batting gloves. A throw to first, and diving back safely is Chris Walker. No, you don't think the Chicago Cubs is a base-stealing organization because of Wrigley Field, and this kid, Chris Walker, has a huge lead at first base. He draws another throw, and Matt Pauley's tag just a little bit late. Carlos Rojas is yet to see a pitch. Now Bobby Wilson steps up in front of home plate. And Marino goes to the rosin bag. Outfield for the Kernels plays this right-handed hitter straight away. Cosby in left, Kimpton in center, and battling a tough son in right is Blake Balcom. A pitch out and ball one to Carlos Rojas. So already this game has been altered by the speed of Chris Walker. We were ahead of him 1-2, but Abel Marino hit him, and it's 1-0 to Carlos Rojas. Big lead by Walker. A throw over there, and Chris dives back in hand first again. A balk has been called, and without stealing a base, Chris Walker has taken second base. So Chris Walker, without putting the ball in play, is at second base with nobody out. Now the shortstop, Sean Rodriguez, comes in, and I'm sure he's advising Abel Marino in his Spanish on how to get out of this tough situation in the top of the first inning. Carlos Rojas will now change his strategy. He'll either bunt or hit the ball to the right side of the Kernel infield. Bobby Wilson sets up outside. The pitch is whistled south of the screen, a hanging curveball. 1-1 to the batter. It is an absolutely picture-perfect night for baseball. And we are so grateful that you've included us in your Memorial Day weekend kickoff. Sun shining brightly, 70 degrees. A breaking ball low and away from Abel. Marino pitched well his last start. He was on his homestand Sunday afternoon against King County. He was an 11-8 winner. He went 5 2/3, gave up 3 runs on 7 hits. He checks the runner at second, the 2-1. Tap to the right side. Now that's why Lansing's a winning ball club. Howie Kendrick throws out Carlos Rojas, but Chris Walker is at third with only 1 out. And Matt Moss, you're close to the Lansing dugout. Tell our audience what kind of reception Carlos Rojas gets from his Lansing teammates.
Well, John, it seems that they're giving him some high fives here for getting that runner in scoring position this early in the game.
They sure did.
To get that momentum.
And he did a wonderful job of doing the right thing. The Kernel infield is back. They'll trade a run for a ground out. Brian Doperic swings at a curve, and he missed it by a mile, but that's just 1 strike on this slugger, Doperic. If his name sounds familiar, it's because he played 19 games with the Lugnuts last year. He's a tall right-handed batter. And he pops one foul. Matt Pauley coming near the Kernel dugout, but it's under the grandstand roof. Doperic is hitting .266. He's second on the Lugnut team with 11 home runs. He has 30 RBIs. Brian with a Cubs second-round draft pick in 2002 of high school. Dunedin High School in Florida. That's the city where the Toronto Blue Jays spring train. Dunedin. The 0-2 from Abel is a one-hopper to second. A run scores from shallow right. Howie Kendrick makes the play. Brian Parrott gets the job done. He was in the hole, 0-2. Abel Marino made a good hit, came right inside on him. But a hit batter, a ball, a ground out, another ground out. That's what you call producing a run. That's producing a run. And the Lugnuts take a 1-0 lead here in the top of the first inning. Kevin Collins is at the plate. He's a big left-handed batter. And Kevin Collins taps one back to the mound. He topped it. And Abel Marino on to first inning. Well, all things considered, had we not hit the leadoff batter, it would have been a terrific first half inning. As it is, though, Lansing takes advantage of the speed of Chris Walker and good fundamental baseball to push a run across. 1 run for the Lugnuts. No hits, no Kernel errors, a balk, and Lansing leaves the bases empty. And after 1/2 inning, Lansing won. The Kernels coming to bat. You're listening to Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
If you don't stop by one of Jungi's 4 great locations, how will you know you got the very best deal? Stop in today at Jungi Lincoln Mercury Isuzu in Cedar Rapids, Jungi Ford and Jungi Chrysler Jeep Dodge in Center Point, and the new Jungi Chevrolet Pontiac in Anamosa. Now, 4 great locations, still one great name, Jungi.
Dick Ramsey is the #1 home seller for the #1 real estate company, Skogman Realty. That means when you're marketing your home for sale or searching for the ideal home to buy, Dick Ramsey's home team will get you the results you deserve. Dick Ramsey's home team has the best deal going. Buy one of their homes, and Ramsey will buy yours. That's the winning ad Dick Ramsey's home team will deliver to you. Dick Ramsey, the #1 home seller for the #1 real estate company, Goldman Realty.
Hey, how was the trip?
Great. Thanks for getting my mail.
Anytime.
Wait, where's my new copy of ESPN the magazine and my messenger bag?
Well, gotta run.
Hey, is that my bag hanging on your chair?
No.
The hottest magazine out there is offering the coolest deal. Just call 1-877-ESPN-MAG today and get 26 issues for $1 an issue. Call now and you'll receive a free ESPN the magazine messenger bag to carry your 26 issues around in style.
New Veterans Memorial Stadium is loaded with fun-loving local folks, and it's Arthur Elementary School night here. We're glad that Arthur has planned their evening so appropriately because earlier this morning, the Kernels paid a visit to Arthur Elementary School. Colonel pitcher Mike Posey, in fact, along with Colonel Assistant Sonia Massey. They were there bright and early at 9 o'clock on behalf of the Toyota Financial Services Kernel Summer Reading Program. And Sonia Massey, a graduate of Arthur Elementary School, told me that the kids were all fired up, not only about reading this summer and earning the great rewards from Toyota Financial Services, but they were eager to come out for their night at the ballpark, and they're already enjoying it. Quan Cosby will face the converted catcher Randy Wells, and Randy's first pitch is a strike called to Quan. Quan hitting .243 on the year, a couple of homers, 10 RBIs. The Lugnuts scratched out a run and lead at 1-0 as we face Randy Wells for the first time tonight. Strike 2 called. So far, he doesn't look much like a converted catcher. He looks very comfortable on the hill. They must have seen him heave some good takes down to second and say, hey, kid, hold on a second. You're on the wrong side of the plate. You need to be on the front side, not the back side. The 0-2 to the Colonel switch hitter is nubbed in front of the plate. It'll be a tough play for Alan Rick, but he bare hands and throws to first for the out. Quan Cosby topped it, and it rolled about 3 feet in front of the dish. Alan Rick pounced on it, and then threw to the first baseman, Brian DePerick, for the first out of the inning. One gone for Howie Kendrick. Howie's third in the league hitting with a .349 average. 4 homers, 21 runs driven in, and fourth in the league in doubles with 14. Kendrick, a right-handed hitter. He pops one deep into right, sending Carlos Mejia back on his horse, and Mejia makes a fine running catch in front of the warning track. Howie Kendrick gave it a ride, and Carlos Mejia made it look easy as Howie Kendrick's drive carried over his head into that tough right sun field in right, but Mejia drifted back and gloved it. 2 away quickly in the Colonel first for another hot Colonel hitter, Bobby Wilson. Bobby, the catcher in the Allen Motor Company order, right-handed batter, straightaway stance. And Randy Wells gets ahead with a fastball, a strike. Bobby, 7th in the league with a .325 average. Curve high and away, and Bobby couldn't lay off. He swung and missed, strike 2. Lansing scored a run in the first inning without getting the ball out of the infield. Old-fashioned fundamental execution is what got them going. And they lead at 1-0. Wells is 0-2. Swing and a miss, a slider. And the Colonels go quietly and in order in the bottom of the first inning. After 1 half inning on a gorgeous Friday night to kick off Memorial Day weekend, it's Lansing 1 and the Colonels nothing. You're tuned to Colonel Baseball on the Zone.
Most of us have been in a situation before in buying an automobile where what we owe is more than what our vehicle is worth. And sometimes it's thousands of dollars. There is a better way to put yourself in a better position when it comes to value, quality, and reliability. Put yourself into an industry-leading Honda automobile from Randy Kiel Honda. The Odyssey minivan boasts being #1 in safety and the #1 minivan on the market for the last 5 years. The Honda Accord leads the way in safety and has made the Car and Driver's Top 10 list more than any other car in history. The Pilot topped the SUV categories in its first year out and remains a class leader. And the CR-V continues leading in its class since its arrival in 1997. The subcompact Element is so functional and practical, they're selling as fast as they arrive. So doesn't it make sense to get the best value in the market at Randy Kiel Honda? Great folks to deal with, too, and #1 when it comes to getting you the best price. The home of Hoppiness is Randy Keel Honda, Centerpoint Road, or on the web at randykeel.com.
Maps, feasting, fishing, tackle, paints and spackle, tubs, jacuzzis, tapes and movies, everything from A to Z. Tile and lumber, tons of plumbers, elevators, coffee makers, radiators, party favors. Take a look and you'll see. Let your fingers walk into Yellow Book. The other book.
When it comes to making their buying decisions, people today let their fingers do the walking through Yellow Book Yellow Pages. It's no wonder. Yellow Book's packed with money-saving coupons, restaurant menus, and vital community info. And with more ads than ever before, it has everything you need right at your fingertips. It's easy to spot. Just reach for the yellow directory with a map on the cover and join the smart shoppers who choose Yellow Book, not the other book. Put your business in Yellow Book. Call 1-800-YB-YELLOW.
Let your fingers walk into Yellow Book. The other book.
1-0, and Abel Marino's first delivery is high to a left-handed hitting catcher, Alan Rick. Now a changeup nips the outside corner. Strike one, Alan Rick, a high draft pick of the Cubs in 2002. Pops one up. It's second baseman Howie Kendrick drifting 10 feet out on the grass and right, and Alan Rick is the fourth Lugnut in order to be retired by 20-year-old Colonel right-hander Abel Marino. Matt Moss, a sure sign that this is a special weekend, is something you spotted between innings way, way beyond the right field wall.
Yeah, way back there. We can just see over the tree line a hot air balloon drifting through the blue sky.
Lucky you spotted it because you're right, it's making a landing somewhere now.
Yeah, it just dipped behind that tree line.
A tap foul on a 0-1 pitch by Robinson Chirinos, and Abel Marino, besides hitting the leadoff batter Chris Walker and committing a balk, has been very good so far. It's very early, of course. Top of the second, 1-0 Lansing. Robinson Chirinos, a right-handed batter with a .233 average, leads league with 6 triples. He's in the hole 0-2. Strike 3 called. Robinson Chirinos is carved up by Abel Marino. 2 away here in Lansing second inning. The batter, Drew Larson. I was working out earlier this morning at the Stony Point YMCA, and I caught the Channel 9 11:30 news and was happy to see that the visibility at that time was 9 miles, and I bet that's 9 miles or more how far that hot air balloon was. Way, way over by Mount Vernon Road, probably. A strike on the outside corner. Now a swing and a miss by Drew Larson. He's hitting 162, a homer, 5 RBIs. Boy, Abel Marino trying to make it look as easy as his opponent, Randy Wells, did in the Colonel first inning. A ground ball hit sharply to Sean Rodriguez. The throw to first is picked right off the top of the dirt by Matt Hawley. Drew Larson hit it sharply, but grounds out to short, and indeed a quick 1-2 inning for Abel Marino. And after an inning and a half on just a delightfully beautiful Friday evening, the Colonels trailed Lugnuts 1-0. And you're listening to Colonel Baseball on the Zone.
Wildcat Golf Course would like to show you what makes us a great place to play. All 18 challenging holes are now open. We have all the services you need, from our new driving range to our expanded sandwich menu and our fully stocked bar and grill. Check out our large pro shop with new golf gear from Titleist, Srixon, and Wilson. Need clubs? Stop in and see our PCS custom club maker Bill Sutton for all your fitting needs. Take the 20-minute drive from Cedar Rapids to see why at Wildcat Golf Course there is always something unexpected.
The way to pocket important savings is to take advantage of Chevron motor oils and lubricants from the Otson Oil Company, your local Chevron oil distributor. Chevron lubricants are made from higher quality base oils for better performance, and that means longer life for your engine. Contact the Otson Oil Company in Cedar Rapids for details on how you can save time and money with Chevron lubricants. The Otson Oil Company, serving Iowa with quality lubricants since 1933. Visit Otson Oil Company at www.otson.com.
Turn-ups, feasting, fishing, tackle, paints and spackle, tubs, jacuzzis, tapes and movies, everything from A to Z. Tile and lumber, tons of plumbers, elevators, coffee makers, radiators, party favors. Take a look and you'll see. Let your fingers walk into Yellow Book. The other book.
When it comes to making their buying decisions, people today let their fingers do the walking through Yellow Book Yellow Pages. It's no wonder. Yellow Book's packed with money-saving coupons, restaurant menus, and vital community info. And with more ads than ever before, it has everything you need right at your fingertips. It's easy to spot. Just reach for the yellow directory with the map on the cover and join the smart shoppers who choose Yellow Book, not the other book. Your business in Yellow Book. Call 1-800-YB-YELLOW.
Let your fingers do the walking through Yellow Book, the other book.
Matt Brown's been on a phenomenal home run tear. 11 homers, 40 RBIs, and Matt Moss, how many home runs in his last how many games?
8 home runs in the last dozen games, John.
He hits one softly up the middle, and gliding to his left is the shortstop Carlos Rojas to throw out Matt Brown. Matt hit that one with a hollow-sounding stroke off his bat. I think he hit off the end of that, and he rolls out to short on a 1-0 pitch. So 4 in a row retired by the converted catcher, Randy Wells. He's from my neck of the woods, where I grew up. He is from Belleville East High School. That's just on the other side of the Mississippi River and a little bit south of St. Louis. He went to Southwestern Illinois College. The batter is Matt Pauley. Left-handed hitter and a slider low for ball 1. Matt is hitting .305. 3 homers, 24 driven in. Ball 2, a changeup is low. 1-0 Lansing. They scored without a hit or without getting the ball out of the infield in the top of the first against Abel Marino. But Abel has now retired 6 in a row. 2-0 to Pauley. A high drive to deep center. Going back is Chris Walker, and shading his eyes, he caught it in front of the warning track in deep, deep left center field. Matt Pauley showing great power, driving one into the left center field region, but it was caught by Chris Walker. So 5 in a row now retired by the Lansing right-hander. His numbers are not real impressive. He's 1-4, an ERA of 5.26. In 37 2/3 innings, Randy Wells has given up 46 hits, struck out 36, walked 17, and his changeup is in the dirt. Ball 1 to Sean Rodriguez. Sean, like most of the Kernels, has had a great month of May. He's batting .277, 4 homers, 14 RBIs. Right-handed hitter, open stance, deep squat. Strike 1 called at the knees. Kevin Collins is in left for the visitors. Chris Walker in center and Carlos Mejia in right. A slider's a strike called. At third, Alberto Garcia, Carlos Rojas at short, Robinson Chirinos at second, and Brian Japerick at first. The catcher's Alan Rick. So there are 4 fellas in the Lansing lineup of Latin origin. A high pop foul off to the right keeps Rodriguez up, but in the hole, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Base is empty, 2 gone, and Colonel's second inning, 1-0 Lansing. Ooh, a side-on delivery, just missed low and away. Evens the count, 2-2 to Sean Rodriguez. The Colonel's team batting average, .269, second highest in the league. There's a pitch tomahawk for extra bases into the right field corner. It's foul. Foul. Matt Moss, you have a slightly better angle than I do. That thing was fair, but when did it go foul?
Well, it hooked right at the last minute. Probably landed a good 8 inches outside the chalk there.
Oh, pardon my.
It looked fair at first, but it just hooked at the last minute.
Boy, it sure did. Rodriguez would have had at least a double, and with Sean's aggressive base running, probably a triple. But it was foul, as Matt said. Now a pitch hammered on 2 hops to short, bobbled by Rojas, but he has time. Oh, Sean Rodriguez twisted his ankle, trips over first base, and I hope he's all right. Sean Rodriguez hustling down the first base line, took a nasty spill. He's being tended to by Justin Bachman, the Colonel first base coach. Rodriguez, after narrowly missing an opposite field extra base hit with 2 out, hammered it on 2 hops to the shortstop, Carlos Rojas. The Kernels go in order in the home half of the second. As we head to the top of the third, Lansing maintains a 1-0 edge over the Kernels, and you're tuned to Colonel Baseball on the Zone.
This is the time of year when people are giving and receiving lots of presents for weddings, showers, and graduations, plus the usual birthdays and anniversaries. Cedar Rapids Solid Waste and Recycling reminds you, gift wrapping paper should not be disposed of in your blue recycling box. Instead, reuse your gift wrapping paper for other special occasions or put it in your regular garbage for collection day. Remember, don't put gift wrapping paper in your blue recycling box. Thanks from Cedar Rapids Solid Waste and Recycling. It's spring planting time, and garden treasures await you at Peck's Flower Shop and Garden Center. The best selection in the area, plus all the free expert advice you'll need to make them grow, choose Peck's. The greenhouses at Peck's are filled with beautiful colors, gorgeous hanging baskets, rose bushes, patio pots, and blooming annual flower plants, including the best and newest blooms for sun or shade. Grow your own vegetables and herbs from Peck's large selection of favorite vegetable and tomato plant varieties that are ready to plant. Peck's also has hundreds of varieties of hardy perennial plants, plus acres of trees, shrubs, and evergreens for landscapes. Contact Peck's for an estimate on your landscape project. Visit Peck's Flower Shop and Garden Center, where their knowledgeable staff is ready to answer plant and gardening questions. Peck's, growing garden treasures since 1956, at the corner of Blair's Ferry and Edgewood Roads Northeast.
Two hungry teams trying to make their way up to first place in their respective divisions. The 28-19 Lansing Lugnuts trail South Bend by 2 games. The 27-19 Kernels just a game back of Kane County. And this game moves into the 3rd inning. Spinning in a slider to Alberto Garcia, a right-handed batter. Abel Marino, strike 1. Now a swing and a foul straight back. And Marino continues to work quickly and get ahead of the Lugnut hitters. Alberto Garcia is in the hole 0-2. He's hitting .364, but he's only played in 6 games. He swings and misses at a nasty curve in the dirt. Bobby Wilson completes the strikeout by throwing to first. And there are 1 away, but 7 straight now. 7 straight retired by Abel Marino. A youngster from Arthur Elementary School, our featured school this evening, had the thrill of his early summer. Logan Blake was our Culver small fry of the game. Logan marched out. Here's a ground ball, chopped to shortstop. The number 9 hitter, Carlos Mejia, is gone. First pitch swinging, Sean Rodriguez has his second assist of this game, and that's now 8 in a row for Abel Marino. Logan Blake went to third baseman Matt Brown and got Matt to sign his Culver's cap, and then Mr. Shucks presented the Culver small fry with a certificate good for a free kids meal at either of the Culver's frozen custard and Butterburger restaurants. Another foul off to the left by Chris Walker. He was hit on a 1-2 pitch in the first inning, advanced to second on a balk, went to third on a ground ball out to the right side, and then scored on a ground ball out. The 0-1 to Walker, hammered back to the mound, and Abel Marino reached up like he was stopping traffic and took a hit away from Chris Walker. What a terrific play. Lightning reflexes on the mound by Abel Marino. A little bit of a snow cone, but a terrific reflex action catch by the Colonel Hurler. He helps himself. In the 3rd, the Lugnuts go in order, and that's 9 straight retired by Abel Marino. This game being played at the speed of light. We go to the bottom of the 3rd, and Lansing leads the Kernels 1-0. You're listening to Colonel Baseball on the Zone.
Spent a week of working for the men. I think it's time to make a game plan. I don't mean a fancy wing day. I mean fresh, something smooth, something real. We'll get a real live party going on. I mean fresh, I mean smooth, I mean real. Get a real live party going on. But it's alright, it's all real. It's all here.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Advanced Systems, the leader in office technology, is like a great baseball coach when it comes to office productivity. Advanced Systems makes the most of your team. They do it with the latest technology for office productivity from Canon. They're also like a great trainer. Advanced Systems Advanced Life Support makes sure your office equipment runs at peak levels and fixes it fast if things go wrong. Hit it over the fence with Canon technology from Advanced Systems. Call 832-8291.
This is for the 21st century with Advanced Systems.
Good morning, Mr. Phelps. The Freedom Festival Great Cardboard Boat Regatta is Sunday, June 27th. Your mission is to build a boat from cardboard capable of racing the course 3 times. Cardboard courtesy of Warehouser is at the Stickle Warehousing parking lot, 308 29th Street Northeast. The Great Cardboard Boat Regatta, part of the Cedar Rapids Freedom Festival, June 24th through July 4th. Further instructions for this mission are online at www.freedomfestival.com. This recording will get very wet.
Bottom of the third, he sent it right through the box into center, and Blake Balcom, who had 3 hits in the Colonel victory over Dayton Wednesday night. Blake Balcom had a hit yesterday, and the Colonels, just like that, on the first pitch of the third inning, have a leadoff runner aboard and a tying run in the person of Blake Balcom. He singles into center, and now Nick Kimpton may be bunting. Alberto Garcia is in on the grass at third for the Lugnuts. A leadoff single for Balcom. Nick Kimpton, a left-handed hitter, puts one foul just over the third base grandstand, strike one. It's 400 feet to center field here in the new Veterans Memorial Stadium. Above the 8-foot-high green padded wall is a dark green 25-foot-high batter's eye, a net. Wells delivers, and a bunt attempt by Kimpton. He wasn't bunting as a sacrifice either. He was trying to bunt his way on. Nick now has a tough task. He's in the hole, knocking in 2. 1-0 in favor of Lansing. Bottom of the third inning already. We're just past the top of the hour here in the Midwest, and we want to remind you that you're enjoying Colonel Baseball on the Zone. ESPN Radio 1600, KCRG, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Wells to Kimpton. A looper into shallow left, and Kevin Collins drifts to his left and has it. Nick Kimpton skies to left, 1-on-1 out for the DH, Aaron Peel. Great to see big groups here on the Miller Mezzanine Terrace above the Colonel first base dugout. A huge throng from Alliant Energy. Then out in left field, wrapped around the left field foul pole, enjoying the action on the Randy Keel Confidence Picnic Pavilion. Rockwell Operations, Granger, the City of Coralville, and RSM McGlattery and Pullen. What a eclectic mix of people that must be out there.
Well, John, earlier we were mentioning those hot air balloons. It seems we have 3 now that have taken flight.
Yes, Matt, you're right. I see 3 as well, all beyond right field wall. One is particularly high up compared to the other 2. A strike to Aaron Peel. Aaron is hitting at .217, but he's belted 6 home runs, driven in 13 runs. Peel steps out. He's a right-handed batter, and he looks at Bobby Magallanes coaching at third base. Lovely night for baseball or a hot air. There goes the runner, a pitch out, and Blake Balcom is going to be tagged out by Bunny at second by the shortstop Carlos Rojas. So either the Lugnuts guessed right or they stole some signs from the Kernels. The caught stealing went 2-6. And Blake Balcom, who was 4 out of 5 in stolen base attempts, was up by plenty on a pitch out to Aaron Peel. They count even now to Aaron. 1 ball, 1 strike. Swing and a miss on a slider, strike 2. Yeah, it almost looked like the Lugnuts knew exactly what was coming because they stole our signs. You can't be sure of that. The 1-2 from Wells is up and in, a fastball. Our great friend from the Cedar Rapids Solid Waste and Recycling Department, Kirby, has arrived down below, and he'll be showing our audience to see what to do and not to do with gift wrapping paper, since this is the gift-giving time of the season with graduations and weddings. What Kirby's message will be is reuse the gift wrapping paper, or if you have to, throw it away, but don't put it in your recycling box. Aaron Peel's down on strikes on a curveball, and wow, the quickest 3 innings we've had all season are already completed. No runs for Kernels in the bottom of the third. 1 hit, a man caught trying to steal second. No Lugnut errors. The Kernels leave the bases empty. We head to the top of the fourth. Our guest from Arthur Elementary School should be along at any time. After 3, it's the Lansing Lugnuts 1 and the Kernels nothing. You're tuned to Colonel Baseball on the Zone.
Whether you're a serious athlete or a weekend warrior, injuries can take you out of your game. Smart athletes know that Physiotherapy Associates in Cedar Rapids are the experts in the treatment and prevention of sport-related injuries. Our expert staff serves the metro and surrounding area high school athletes. Physiotherapy Associates of Cedar Rapids, the smart choice in sports medicine. Call us at 398-1569. That's 398-1569. We'll get you back in your game today.
I cannot be anyone but me. Baby, can't you see I know what's right for me?
What is ESPN Radio? It's not that hard. You're a sports fan? This is the sports station. It's ESPN. That means sports. The games, the experts, the analysis, the scores, the highlights, the people who know their stuff. It's good conversation. It's ESPN. It's radio. You know, the box that all the sounds come out of. At your home, in your car, where you work, even in your computer. It's everywhere you go. It's radio. It's ESPN. It's ESPN Radio. That's all it is.
First inning and giving up a run without giving up a hit. Abel Marino now paints the outside corner to Carlos Rojas, and Abel has retired 9 straight Lugnut hitters. A looper into right is a base hit. Carlos Rojas, an inside-out swing, dropped one in front of Lake Balcom, and the Kernels had their leadoff man aboard in the bottom of the third, but he was caught trying to steal with one out. One on, nobody out, and now the heart of the order for Brian DePerick. DePerick drove in the only run of this game with a first-inning ground out to second baseman Howie Kendrick. DePerick takes a little bit of time to set himself. He is a tall, lanky, strong right-handed batter with 11 home runs. Brian DePerick. He dribbles one foul towards the Lugnut third base dugout, strike one. 1-0 Lansing, top of the fourth inning. The team we're trying to catch in the West, King County, is at home, and they're hosting the team the Lugnuts are trying to reel in, the South Bend Silverhawks. A throw to first, and Carlos Rojas, who's 6 for 6 in stolen base attempts, is back standing up. Now DePerick back away from a Marino pitch inside. Abel with a 4.12 ERA, the league hitting .239 against him. He was 10-0 with Provo last year. He's 3-2 in 8 starts as a Colonel. We're going to be welcoming in a couple of youngsters from Arthur Elementary School. Why don't we start with Marcus Page? Hey, Marcus, we're going to talk it over with you and then your friend Josh, and we'll have help on Josh's last name. We'll work on that right now. It's Arthur Elementary School night here at the ballpark. A swing and a miss on a big curve, and it's strike 2 to DePerick. Marcus Page, your classmates and schoolmates from Arthur, seem like they're having a lot of fun tonight.
Yes.
Let's just reset this for you, Marcus. There you go. Marcus, what grade are you in?
4th.
You're in 4th. All right. School gets out pretty soon, doesn't it?
Yep.
June 6th, I think.
Uh-huh.
Now, do you recognize this young woman behind us?
Yeah.
Where was she this morning?
At our school?
Yes, she was. And I bet you had a good time learning about the Toyota Financial Services Colonel Reading Program.
Yep.
Do you think you're going to have time to read some this summer, Marcus?
Definitely.
Well, that's great. That's wonderful. Marcus Page is here, and a little bit later we'll have Josh Beal join us as well. A curve, and that's in the dirt, and it's swung on and missed. Brian DePerick is down on strikes, 1 on, 1 out. 1-0 Lugnuts here in the 4th inning. Well, Marcus Page, tell us about how long you've been looking forward to this night at the ballpark. Did you sign up for it, a couple of weeks ago?
Actually, we kind of just came today.
Good.
And got the tickets.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. It's a busy time of year. I see you have a Marion basketball gray T-shirt on, and you can tell us about that in a second. Kevin Collins, the left hand. The runner goes, a swing and a miss. Wilson's throw to second. Now, Bobby Wilson, right on the money, and Sean Rodriguez took the peg. Carlos Rojas was gunned down. That's the first time he's been caught stealing all season in his 7th try. Bobby Wilson to Sean Rodriguez, 2-6, and there are 2 gone here in the Lugnut 4th inning, 1-0 Lansing. Marcus Page is with us. A swing and a miss on a changeup. It's 0-2 on the batter. Cleanup hitter Kevin Collins. Well, Marcus, did you play in the Marion League this past winter?
Well, actually, this is a basketball camp that we went to, and my mom teaches at Marion and coaches there.
Wow.
Yeah, Cheryl Page.
Now, what grade did she teach?
I don't know.
Is she high school?
Yeah.
Okay. The 1-2. Pulled on the ground to the right side. Howie Kendrick scoops and on to first. And Abel Marino, with 4 solid innings, has gotten Kevin Collins to end the Lansing 4th. No runs for the Lugnuts. one hit, a leadoff single. There were no Colonel errors. A man was caught trying to steal second, and Lansing leaves the bases empty. They haven't stranded a runner, neither have the Kernels. It's Arthur Elementary School night here at the new Veterans Memorial Stadium. Marcus Page is with us. His friend and schoolmate Josh Beal will be joining us in a little bit as well. After 3.5, Lansing leads it 1-0, and you're listening to Colonel Baseball on the Zone.
Wildcat Golf Course would like to show you what makes us a great place to play. All 18 challenging holes are now open. We have all the services you need, from our new driving range to our expanded sandwich menu and our fully stocked bar and grill. Check out our large pro shop with new golf gear from Titleist, Rixon, and Wilson. Need clubs? Stop in and see our PCS custom club maker Bill Sutton for all your fitting needs. Take the 20-minute drive from Cedar Rapids to see why at Wildcat Golf Course there is always something unexpected.
Playing a sport is like driving a Jeep. You want to be tough. You want to go the distance. And you want to be the best. Now at Mike McGrath Auto Center, do it all in a brand new Jeep Liberty, only $15,995. Yes, Jeep Wranglers, Grand Cherokees, and Liberties from $15,995. Make your mark on or off the field in a new Jeep from just $15,995. Only at Mike McGrath Auto Center, 4610 Centerpoint Road Northeast, Cedar Rapids. Dealer retains rebate offers on select models with approved credit plus fees.
There is a one-stop service center for your car or truck. Webb's Transmission in Cedar Rapids, where Mike, Tracy, and the gang will take care of your automotive needs. Using a combination of experience, common sense, and computer diagnostics, Webb's Transmission will service your engine, transmission, perform brake and coolant service, or just about any routine maintenance. And now, Webb's Transmission offers injector cleaning. Webb's Transmission at the corner of J Street and 36th Avenue Southwest in Cedar Rapids.
Wow, are we flying along tonight? Seems like the Kernels and Lugnuts are still kind of feeling their way, and it's such a crucial series for both ball clubs that neither club is taking many pitches. Both pitchers, to their credit, are throwing strikes. Quan Cosby, a bunt. He may beat this out. He will! The Colonel leadoff man ignites the ball club with a leadoff bunt single. It went about 10, 15 feet in front of home plate, just beyond the dirt batting circle, and as Randy Wells, the pitcher, picked it up cleanly barehanded, he was screened off by his catcher, Al Rick. Even if Randy Wells had had a clear path to throw, he would have never gotten Quan Cosby. Quan flew down the line. He's the tying run at first with nobody out, being held by big Brian Doperic. A throw over, out! Oh no, Quan Cosby is picked off first base. Oh, that really hurts here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Quan Cosby picked off first base. Oh, my goodness. That negates a beautiful bunt single, and they got him at first. No argument from Justin Bachman coaching at first or Quan himself. Now ball one high to Howie Kendrick. This baseball game is being played at the pace of a hockey game. We're already in the bottom of the fourth. It's 1-0 Lansing. Swing and a miss by Howie, strike one. Marcus Page, our guest, one of two guests from Arthur Elementary School. And Marcus, you have a changing of the guard at Arthur. Our good friend Tom Holmes is stepping down, and ball two inside to Howie. Tell our listeners about what kind of man Tom Holmes was as a principal. I bet you got to know him well, not because you got sent to his office, but because he's such a neat guy.
Well, he's really nice, and well, he lets us do a lot of stuff, but sometimes he can be strict.
Oh, yeah, and that's exactly what a good principal is, Marcus. He lets kids find their way and explore, but has some discipline and respect to go with it. A strike to Kendrick, now the 2-2 low and away, and Howie Kendrick, who flew out to deep right in the first, has run the count full. One out, nobody on, bottom of the fourth, 1-0 Lansing. A curve, and that one's tapped foul to the third base Colonel dugout. Well, Marcus, you mentioned your basketball camp there in Marion, and what sports is your mom coach?
Basketball and track.
Oh, wow. Two of my favorites. The payoff pitch to Howie. Luke foul down the right field line into the Papa John's Plaza. Did she have any girls qualify for state this weekend in Des Moines?
Yeah.
I bet she was proud of them. Marcus, how many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have one sister.
She go to Arthur?
She did. Now she's in Franklin.
Okay, a swing and a miss on slow curve, and two gone in the Colonel fourth inning. This inning started with so much promise. A bunt single by Quan Cosby, but he was picked off on the very next throw. That next throw was Randy Wells heaving it over to the first baseman, DePerick, and Quan tried to scramble in. Backhand first, but he couldn't make it. Bobby Wilson struck out in the first. He swings at a curve and misses strike one. Marcus, what are your favorite subjects as this school year winds down and you look forward to your 5th grade year at Arthur?
Math and science, definitely.
Math and science. Great. We need more kids that name those as their top 2 subjects. What do you like about math? All the challenging story problems? Or?
Yeah.
And
I
then,
like number problems.
You like number problems? And then what about science?
I like studying the human body.
Oh, physiology and anatomy. Swing and a miss. Strike 2 on Bobby Wilson. 1-2 to the Colonel catcher. 7th in the league with a .325 average. 1-0 Lugnuts. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning already on Arthur Elementary School night. Randy Wells is ahead of Bobby Wilson. A looper into right. Get down, baby. Nope. Coming on to make the catch on the run is Carlos Mejia. Bobby Wilson went the other way, made a bid for a Texas League single, but on came Carlos Mejia in right to put the squeeze on it. No runs for the Kernels in the 4th. A leadoff bunt single by Quan Cosby, 1 hit. He was picked off first. There were no Lansing errors. The Kernels leave. The base is empty. Well, Marcus Page, it was wonderful of you to come up here. Our last question, how did you get chosen? Was it a random lottery, or did they say, that kid will do good on the radio?
I think it was random. I'm not sure.
Well, Marcus, congratulations for being with us this evening. We're going to hand the baton off in the top of the 5th to your schoolmate, Josh Beal. After 4 innings, it's the Lugnuts leading the Kernels 1-0. You're listening to Colonel Baseball on the Zone.
None of us can do anything about a bad day, but we can make certain nothing happens to all of our tomorrows. Take everything out of the hands of chance with a well-planned insurance program tailored specifically to your needs. Phil Andrews, your local Pekin insurance agent at Weidenhammer Andrews Agency, is an expert in insurance matters. Phil Andrews will develop the right insurance plan for your home, car, business, and life. Depend on Phil Andrews, your hometown professional with Pekin Insurance.
Soul of Mexico, her voice soars above a sweet Spanish guitar. Shining ahead like Dr. Pepper, originally to make her a star. The taste of Dr. Pepper, the taste of originality, the roots individuality, and gives life a personality. Be you, do what you do. Be you, nothing better, nothing better. And then the center stage, a child came of age with a song of passion from the heart. And Edwin Goodell, Anna Gabrielle was an original from the start. The taste of Dr. Pepper, the taste of originality, the roots individuality, and give us a personality. Be you, do what you do. Be you, nothing better, nothing better. Be you, do what you do. Be you, nothing better, nothing better.
1-0 Lansing. They scored a run without getting the ball out of the infield in the top of the 1st inning. They've made it hold up. We're already in the top of the 5th inning. This game is less than 50 minutes old, and Josh Beal is joined us. He's another great kid from Arthur Elementary School. And Josh, I think our audience would love to know why all the people are standing up and screaming down below us. What's unfolding down there?
They're throwing baseballs out into the field.
Yeah, the crowd is pretty excited about it. I didn't know this was going to happen this evening. Baseballs and T-shirts that are wrapped up are being tossed into the stands. We have a big crowd here tonight. Josh Beal's part of it. He's from Arthur Elementary School. And Josh, I think, isn't Arthur one of the oldest schools in Cedar Rapids?
Yeah.
I thought so. It's a beautifully maintained school. And I know Bob Brooks, who was welcoming all you kids and your parents and the teachers earlier this evening. Bob Brooks went there, his son went there, and then his kids go there. So it's been around a while. Alan Rick is the leadoff batter, and he cues one off the end of the bat, rolls it foul to the third base dugout. Josh, you spell your last name B-E-H-E-L, and I bet some people kind of stumble on it at first.
Yeah.
Do they say, is Josh Heel, or... And I'm glad you helped me out here. It's a pretty easy name once you get it pronounced, isn't it?
Yeah.
A ground ball, base hit in right, pulled between Howie Kendrick and Matt Pauly by Alan Rick. And for the 2nd straight inning, and for the 3rd time tonight, the Lugnuts have their leadoff man aboard. Well, Josh, you're a 5th grader, And you're going to be leaving Arthur Elementary in another week or so, I guess. Are there some special things that the 5th graders get to do at Arthur because it's their last year?
Yeah, we go on a lot more field trips.
Those are fun. A swing and a miss on a curve by Robinson Chirinos. Where have they taken you? Can you remember a few places?
The science station, the living history farm.
Ooh.
We got to ride charter buses to Des Moines.
Oh, really? What'd you see over in Des Moines?
The living history
Oh,
farm.
okay, that's where the living history farm is. We take long bus trips, motor coach trips, when we play baseball here in the Midwest League. A fastball is low and in, and it's ball 1 to Chirinos, a throw to first. Alan Rick with 1 steal and 1 try. Backhand first. Top of the 5th inning. Lights are on here. They haven't taken full effect yet. The 1-1. Inside, and the batter couldn't hold up. He was handcuffed by that low fastball by Abel, and Chirinos is down on the count 1-2. Robinson Chirinos hitting .233, 4 homers, 18 runs driven in. Abel's next delivery is grounded up the middle, a base hit. Abel almost got a glove on it, but it was too sharply. Went right underneath his outstretched mitt, and Lansing has a great chance now to add to their 1-0 lead. They have their first 2 men on with nobody out in the top of the 5th inning. Well, Josh, what do you got planned for this summer? Some special things you've enjoyed doing in previous summers, or what's on your mind as we get close to summertime?
We're going on a vacation in the end of June.
End of June. Well, that's in about a month. A ground ball picks it into right. A run may score. Rounding third to Alan Rick. They're going to hold him up. Bases loaded. Nobody out for the Lugnuts here in the top of the 5th inning. Blake Balcom threw a peg in on the fly to the catcher Bobby Wilson, so it's a good thing Alan Rick didn't try to score. And the Lugnuts are poised now for a big inning. Nobody out, bases loaded, and their number 8 hitter Alberto Garcia at the plate. We desperately need a pop-up, a double play, or a strikeout. Well, Josh, that's wonderful. Will you go very far away for vacation?
No, just to Missouri.
Oh, that's pretty far. I mean, it's a nice state. Are you going to Branson or the Ozarks? To Branson. Have you ever been there?
Yeah.
I have not. A lot of country western singers down there. Is there stuff for kids to do?
Yeah.
I've been to Silver Dollar City, but that was a long time ago. The 1-0 pitch to Alberto Garcia is tapped foul to the left side. Well, that ought to be fun. Now, do you guys camp out as a family, or do you stay in an RV or a hotel?
A hotel.
Sounds like a lot of fun heading down to Missouri. The 1-1 to Alberto Garcia. Low and away, and it's ball 2. 1-0 Lugnuts. And if you could save a day anytime for future and want to pull it out, this would be the day. It has been just beautiful all day here in eastern Iowa. Tonight, it's cooled off. It's 68 degrees. The game time temperature was 70. Bases loaded. Nobody out for Lansing. A bouncer foul past third by Garcia. And the count now even to Alberto, 2-2. He struck out leading off the 3rd inning. 3 straight singles by the Lugnuts have them threatening to add to their 1-0 lead, but Abel Marino is certainly capable of mustering up enough good pitches to get out of this jam. And I mean, it's as tough as it gets. Bases loaded, nobody out. Garcia, a right-handed batter, waits for the next 2-2 delivery. A high, deep drive to center. Well, it's not as deep as I thought. Kimpton may have a play at the plate. Here's the runner tagging from third, and he scores to make it 2-0. Alan Rick trotted home, standing up on a fly ball to center. Nick Kimpton's throw was cut off, and on to third went Robinson Chirinos, and Lansing now leads this game 2-0 in the top of the 5th inning. Well, Josh Beal, each kid is different. Marcus Page told us he likes science and math. What kind of strikes your fancy as far as the classroom goes?
I like math.
Yeah? When I was in 5th grade, we learned our states and capitals, but I bet you they teach you that a lot earlier now.
Yeah.
Boy, we had to memorize every one of them. Runners at the corners for Carlos Mejia. Right-handed hitter. Strike one, a slider from Marino. 2-0 Lansing. How about at the ballpark? Hot dogs, ice cream, what do you think you're going to sink your teeth into?
I don't know. Probably hot dogs.
Yeah, me too. I love hot dogs at the ballpark. The number 9 hitter falls down in the count 0-2 as he cocks one up to the facade of the grandstand roof. A big black spotted cow is down below, and that's from our friends at Chick-fil-A. He's going to lead this big crowd in the chicken dance coming up shortly. First, though, we have to get out of this trouble in the top of the 5th inning. Lansing has scored a run. They have runners at first and third with one away. Their number 9 hitter, Carlos Mejia, waits for the 0-2. Low and away, a good stop by Bobby Wilson. Well, Josh, are you old enough to mow the lawn yet, or do they keep you busy doing other household chores?
I sometimes mow our lawn, and I mow my neighbor's lawn.
Oh, do you? They slip you a few dollars for that, or do you do it on your own?
They give me $10.
Oh, that's a pretty good rate. That's a lot higher pay than I got when I mowed lawns in 5th grade. That's wonderful. And I bet you've had to mow it a few times already this spring.
Yeah, it's a big hill.
Oh, is it? So you use a lot of sweat and perspiration, I bet.
Yep.
Swing and a miss. An off-speed pitch, a dandy by Abel Marino, and there are 2 gone here in the top of the 5th inning. Now Chris Walker, a speedster who was hit on a 1-2 pitch back in the 1st inning, advanced to second on a balk, then scooted to third on a ground ball out to the Colonel right side of the infield and scored on a ground ball out. Walker, the key man for Lansing. If we could get out of this with just 1 run scoring, the Colonels would be very, very relieved and feel fortunate. Walker grounds one on 2 hops to Howie Kendrick. Howie has played brilliantly in the field this spring, and no exception here. He had it and throws Walker out. And in the 5th inning, 1 run for Lansing on 3 base hits. They had the bases loaded, nobody out, and only scored 1 run. That's a credit to Abel Marino. No Colonel errors, and the Lugnuts leave a pair, their first 2 stranded tonight. Well, Josh Steele, we're going to keep you for a couple of moments in the bottom of the 5th inning, and then I know we want to turn you loose so you can get that hot dog and also interact with some of your friends, but we'll talk just a little bit more in the Colonel 5th inning. After 4.5 now, it's Lansing 2, the Colonels nothing. You're tuned to Colonel Baseball on the Zone.
Colonels fans, your Cedar Rapids Taco Bell restaurants have something new for you to hear about this season. A Taco Bell 10-Buy. When the Colonels score 10 or more runs in any game this season, you'll score beef tacos for just 39 cents the very next day at any Cedar Rapids Taco Bell. That's a savings of 50 cents per taco. Limit 10 per customer. Remember, when the Colonels put up a Taco Bell 10 spot by putting 10 or more runs in any game, you get the 10 39-cent beef tacos the very next day at any Cedar Rapids Taco Bell.
Coffee works when it's important to you. Coffee works, let your work shine through.
When you think of copies, think of CopyWorks. High-speed copying, color copies, oversized copies, manuals, booklets, graphic design, posters, banners, and presentations. CopyWorks does it better. When it's important to you, CopyWorks lets your work shine through. When you think of copies, think of CopyWorks.
Good morning, Mr. Phelps. The Freedom Festival Great Cardboard Boat Regatta is Sunday, June 27th. Your mission is to build a boat from cardboard capable of racing the course 3 times. Cardboard, courtesy of Warehouser, is at the Stickle Warehousing Parking Lot, 308 29th Street Northeast. The Great Cardboard Boat Regatta, part of the Cedar Rapids Freedom Festival, June 24th through July 4th. Further instructions for this mission are online at www.freedomfestival.com. This recording will get very wet.
The Colonels have had 2 hits and 4 at-bats against the converted catcher from southwestern Illinois, Randy Wells. Matt Brown will lead it off in the bottom of the 5th inning, and ball 1 low and away from Matt. We've enjoyed talking with Marcus Page, a 4th grader, soon to be 5th grader at Arthur Elementary. Josh Beal has visited with us during the 5th inning. Ball 2 low, and Matt Brown steps out. Well, Josh, as far as your favorite sports go, where does baseball rank? Are you a pretty big baseball fan, or do you like some other sports better?
Baseball's probably my third favorite sport.
And what's ahead of it?
Basketball and football.
Well, those are two of the great sports to go along with baseball. A curve is a strike to the Colonel right-handed batter. Matt Brown. He is jammed, and he bounces one foul into the third base or left field Lansing bullpen. 2-0 in favor of the Lugnuts. They scratched out a run without a hit in the first, got 3 singles, and pushed a second run across the top of the 5th inning. Josh, you have a buddy here, and you tell me if I'm saying his name right. Alex Intelkofer.
Yep.
How'd you get to know Alex? At Arthur or in your neighborhood?
Arthur.
Is he a pretty good friend?
Yeah.
Everybody needs a couple of close friends, don't they?
Yeah.
Well, Josh, I sure hope you have a great summer. I remember a ground ball between Bobby Magallanes coaching at third and the third baseman Alberto Garcia, another foul ball. I remember when I was your age and it was this time of year, I could not wait for the last day of school. Are you at that point yet, or are you taking it pretty calm?
I can't wait.
I couldn't either. We'd go out and catch lightning bugs and play flashlight tag and all sorts of fun things at night. Matt Brown's proven to be a good at bat here. Another 2-2. Ground ball to short, and over to his right, Carlos Rojas on to first, one away. Matt Brown has grounded to short twice tonight, one gone in the Colonel 5th inning. Well, Josh, before we let you go, I know your folks were kind enough to accompany you up here. What do they do? Is your mom and dad both work?
Yeah.
Matt Pauley, the batter, he flew out to center in the 2nd inning. Where's your dad go to work?
Highway equipment.
Oh, that's a great company. I think they have a picnic out here. And then how about your mom?
Hy-Vee.
Well, the biggest private employer in Iowa. Another great company, another great backer of the Kernels. In fact, they have a beautiful Trivision sign that will flip over shortly down the right field line. A swing and a miss by Matt Pauley on changeup. 1 out, bottom of the 5th. 2-0 Lugnuts. Ball 2 is low to Matt. Speaking of Matt, Colonel broadcast assistant Matt Moss will rejoin us in the top of the 6th inning. We'll have some fun with our Springhouse Family Restaurant baseball trivia question. Pauley skies one into shallow center. In comes Chris Walker, the speedster. He's there, and he has it for the 2nd out of the 5th inning. The only 2 Colonel hits, a leadoff single by Blake Balcom in 3rd. He was thrown out trying to steal 2nd. Quan Cosby looked like he was going to ignite the Kernels in the bottom of the 4th, a leadoff bunt single, but he was promptly picked off first. Sean Rodriguez at the plate. The Kernels are pressing just a little bit. You can tell we're not playing as footloose and fancy-free as we have on this homestand, and hopefully we can get all the nervousness out of our system here in the first 5 innings and come back to our normal way of playing baseball. You can tell we're just playing a little bit uptight. Sean Rodriguez on a 1-1 delivery takes it low. Big crowd here tonight as we expected. Josh, do you know what you and your schoolmates get to do after this ball game?
What?
You get to, if you want, you can stay and run bases. And that is a blast, believe me. And Uncle Charlie high and in, and now it's 3-1 to Rodriguez. Maybe the Kernels can get a 2-out rally started here in the bottom of the 5th, down by a pair. Right-hander Randy Wells' next pitch is a strike at the knees to Sean. Rodriguez steps out. Bob Davidson, 52 years old, who worked in the big leagues, has done a great job behind home plate. You can tell he's very sure of himself, not arrogant or cocky, but just very much appreciative of the opportunity to get back into professional umpiring. Bob Davidson. A curve is bounced to the left side. The shortstop, Rojas, has it, and Sean Rodriguez is thrown out for the 2nd time by the Lansing shortstop. The Kernels go in order in the bottom of the 5th inning and have been frustrated so far by a hurler with a 1-4 record and an ERA of over 5, an indication that the Kernels are pressing just a bit. Well, Josh Beal, thank you so much. Have a terrific night the rest of the night on Arthur Elementary School night.
Okay.
Josh, thank you so much. Up next is the Springhouse Family Restaurant baseball trivia question. Colonel Broadcast Assistant Matt Moss will be along to deliver that to you. We go to the top of the sixth inning, and it's the Kernels trailing Lansing 2-0. You're listening to Colonel Baseball on the Zone.
This is the time of year when people are giving and receiving lots of presents for weddings, showers, and graduations, plus the usual birthdays and anniversaries. Cedar Rapids Solid Waste and Recycling reminds you gift wrapping paper should not be disposed of in your blue recycling box. Instead, reuse your gift wrapping paper for other special occasions or put it in your regular garbage for collection day. Remember, don't put gift wrapping paper in your blue recycling box. Thanks from Cedar Rapids Solid Waste and Recycling.
Benjamin Franklin once said,
"Past, china, and reputation are easily cracked, but never well mended."
At Benjamin Franklin, the Punctual Plumber, we believe you deserve respect for favoring us with your business. We'll never forget that. That's why we do our best to give you service so special you'll want to tell your friends about it. We believe that honesty is the best policy. Benjamin Franklin said so.
You know it.
Our plumber will arrive at your house fully uniformed. You never have to wonder or fear who's at your door, because only the few, the best, and the talented can wear the Benjamin Franklin uniform. Our simple pricing system takes the panic out of calling a plumber. We give you the options first, and you grant approval before we do the work. There are never any surprises.
Splendid.
When we say we'll be there, or we'll give you a Benjamin Franklin, a $100 bill.
Benjamin Franklin, the Punctual Plumber.
He trails 2-0 after 5, and he delivers a strike to Carlos Rojas, and now Rojas lays off a pitch in the dirt. 1-1. My goodness, Matt Moss, you'd think this was the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs in terms of the action being such fast. We're already in the sixth inning, partner.
Fast and furious.
Yes, it has been. Lansing leads at 2-0. A ball outside to Rojas. The number 2, 3, and 4 men for the Lugnuts. There's a strike called, evening the count 2-2. Already time for your great listeners across eastern Iowa and on the internet to try to earn a certificate for $5 from the Springhouse Family Restaurant baseball, or from the Springhouse Family Restaurant. Here's a high pop foul drifting beyond the reach of Matt Tully, well up into the Papa John's Plaza. If you've been a previous winner, and we've had 26 different winners in our Springhouse Family Restaurant baseball trivia question, please play along wherever you're tuned in, but don't call in. That'll give all the other great Colonel fans their fair shake at that $5 gift certificate from Springhouse. A pitch in the dirt, and a count is full now to Carlos Rojas. Every Friday and Saturday night at the Springhouse, slow-cooked barbecue pork ribs that fall off the bone. That means you can partake this evening or tomorrow, starting at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Slow-cooked barbecue pork ribs that are tender enough they'll fall off the bone at the Springhouse. Boy, I think that's where I'm headed tomorrow after reading that description at the Springhouse of those barbecue pork ribs. Those sound delicious.
You got my mouth watering, John.
I'll tell you, another payoff pitch is whistled foul into the screen, and what a battle between Abel Marino and Carlos Rojas. Rojas singled leading off the Lansing fourth, but he was thrown out trying to steal second by Bobby Wilson. The wind and the next 3-2. A deep drive into left center. No, not as deep as I thought. Nick Kempton comes in, as a matter of fact, and gloves it. What a pitch by Abel Marino. He got right on the hand of the batter Rojas, and Carlos flew out to shallow left center.
Well, John, it's appropriate that tonight, playing against the Cub affiliate Lansing Lugnuts, that we went ahead with a Cubby-themed Springhouse Family Restaurant trivia question. The question for this Friday evening is, who is Cubs' all-time leader in saves?
A bouncer foul by big Brian DePerick. He's driven in one of the 2 Lugnut runs.
That question again for your chance at $5 gift certificate to the Springhouse Family Restaurant. Who is the Cubs' all-time leader in saves? You can call John and I at the press box at 896-7589. That number again is 896-7589.
DePerick strokes a base hit into right. Brian DePerick has reached on a one-out single here in the top of the 6th inning. We're already taking a phone call on the Springhouse Family Restaurant baseball trivia question, and Glad to know that all you Cubs fans out there are dialing us up here in the press box. 2-0 Lansing. Kevin Collins has tapped back the mound and grounded to second. He's a left-handed hitter. He whistles one into the right field corner. This could put Lansing ahead 3-0. Blake Balcom cuts it off, and Blake makes a good enough play to hold the lead runner at third, Brian DePerick. Kevin Collins, a .336 hitter, has shown us why he's one of the top hitters in the league by doubling to the left of Blake Balcom to the right field corner. DePerick went from first to third. At second and third, 1 out, and perhaps we'll see Eric Bennett, the Colonel pitching coach, visit the hill for the first time. Lansing's now out hit at 6-2, and they have runners in scoring position with only 1 out. We'll have a report here in just a second on our Springhouse Family Restaurant baseball trivia question. The fact that Matt Moss has rejoined us and is back in the saddle is probably a good indication that we have a winner. Alan Rick cuts on a changeup, didn't get it, strike 1.
Well, John, the question tonight, who is the Cubs' all-time leader in saves? The answer is Lee Smith, who had 180 saves with the Cubs out of 478 career saves. When he retired in 1997, he retired as the all-time leader in saves. And our winner tonight, Larry Labard of Cedar Rapids.
Congratulations, Larry. A pitch low to the batter, and now strike 2 called. If ever Abel Marino needed a strikeout, this would be the situation. He is fan-free. The Colonel infield is back, and trailing 2-0 can ill afford to give up another Lugnut run. Left-handed hitting Alan Rick started the 5th inning with a single, and he scored to make it 2-0 Lansing. Ooh, he reached for a pitch outside and just got a piece of it. Well, Larry Labarge, you may be at the Springhouse sometime next week to enjoy maybe those ribs we talked about Friday and Saturday evenings. We'll be sending you your $5 gift certificate, Larry, to Springhouse. And Matt, did he sound like a Cub fan, or did you have time to ask him?
Well, I should have asked him that, but
that's all right.
I told you this afternoon that we have got plenty of Cubs fans that are going to know this answer.
Yes, we sure did.
And you were afraid that it was going to be too tough of a question.
Well, I'll tell you, my initial inclination was that, Matt. Another 1-2 pitch is a broken bat looper. Howie Kendrick back, has it. Howie Kendrick took a base hit away from Alan Rick, and holding at third was Brian DePerick. I'll tell you what, Matt Moss, that was Howie Kendrick or nobody. I don't think Kimpton would have gotten there.
No, that ball was floating up there like a wounded duck or something.
And Howie tracked it down in right center, a broken bat looper by Alan Rick, and holding it third was Brian DePerick. Now, if the Colonels can get Robinson Chirinos and keep it a 2-run game in favor of Lansing, that's all you can ask from Abel Marino. Key point in this game. A high pop foul out of play as Matt Brown looks at it from third base. Yeah, Matt, Lee Smith is, I don't want to say he's underrated or unappreciated, but boy, he put in some great years, not only with the Cubs, but with some other teams.
That's right. Lee Smith was a bit of a journeyman pitcher. He threw for the Cubs, the Boston Red Sox, the Yankees, the Orioles, the California Angels, the Reds, and the Expos.
A high pop foul on the grandstand roof, and I remember having to embrace him at a Cardinal relief pitcher. Of all things, he pitched effectively for the Cubs' arch rival, St. Louis.
He recorded 30 or more saves in a season 9 separate times.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. He's, like you said, before Dennis Eckersley surpassed him, he had the most saves of anybody. The 0-2 to Chirinos. High. Robinson laid off. Remember that mean scowl that Lee Smith always exhibited? Always looked like he was either under the weather or snarling. Swing and a miss! Abel Marino with runners at second and third and only 1 out. Retired 2 Lugnuts to keep it 2-0 game. Terrific pitching job by Abel Marino. In the 6th inning, no runs for Lansing. 2 hits. There were no Colonel errors. The Lugnuts leave a pair. They've now stranded 4. The Colonels need to get something going with the bats. After 5.5, Lansing 2, the Colonels nothing. You're tuned to Colonel Baseball on the Zone.
Would you like the Cedar Rapids River Raiders, Kenyon Murray and Dean Allen, and help a great cause? I'm Scott Unash from the Zone ESPN Radio 1600 AM, and I'd like to invite you to the 4th Annual Celebration of Sports Banquet and Auction. It's Tuesday, June 8th at 5:30 at the Collins Plaza in Cedar Rapids. We'll be awarding the Lynn County Male and Female Athletes of the Year, plus we'll select 2 Special Olympians and much more. If you support local sports, make plans now to attend. Tickets $25 and tables of 10 are available. Proceeds from this event help support East Central Iowa Special Olympics and the Sports Tourism Fund at the Cedar Rapids Area Convention and Visitors Bureau. Call the Celebration of Sports hotline at 319-398-5383, extension 121 today to make your reservation. Join me, Scott Unash, in the Zone at the Celebration of Sports Banquet and Auction, Tuesday, June 8th at 5:30 at the Collins Plaza in Cedar Rapids. Remember, call 398-5383, extension 121 to make your reservation.
The official grand opening is June 18th, but the all-new Jones Golf Course Clubhouse is now open. This 4,000-square-foot facility is complete with a full-line pro shop. The concession area includes spacious indoor seating, and there's an outdoor patio for over 60 people. Jones Golf Course lets you feel like a club member without the high prices. Shop the Golf Pro Shop at Jones Golf Course now and take $10 off any regularly priced men's golf shirt. Choose from Nike, Callaway, and Tabasco brands. Cedar Rapids Golf, serving your needs to a T.
With the Lugnuts on top 2-0, Blake Balkin leads off for the second time in this game. He got the Kernels' first hit of the night back in the third, leading off, grounding one sharply into center, but then was thrown out trying to catch. The 1-0 to Blake. Nub foul off to the left side, 1-1.
Halo happenings comes to here in the bottom of the 6th inning. A look at results from around the Anaheim Angels organization. Last night, the Angels fell to the Blue Jays 3-2. Former Angel Casey Kochman went 0 for 4 in the losing effort. In AAA action, the Salt Lake City Stingers fell to New Orleans 6-2. Former Colonel Tom Gregorio was 1 for 3 with a double. Steve Andrade pitched 2 scoreless innings in relief.
Boy, that's good news as Blake Balcom conks one foul past third. Steve Andrade was terrific here 2 seasons ago, part of a Colonel bullpen that had Jonathan Rowenhorst, Joel Peralta. Strike 3 calls, Blake knew it. And the Colonel frustration against the right-hander with a 1-4 record and an ERA of above 5 continues. That's his 4th strikeout.
Well, you wouldn't get that he's got a 1-4 record and a 5.26 ERA by the way he's been hurling tonight, Don.
No, and you got to give him credit. He's thrown strikes. He's kept the Colonels off balance. But in fairness, the Colonels have just been pressing. They're just a little bit tightly wound, and somebody needs to crack a joke in that dugout and say, hey, guys, this is baseball. It's supposed to be fun. Loosen up. Easier said than done in a big series. I know the Colonels, win, lose, draw tonight, will learn from approaching this game just a little bit too uptight. A swing and a miss by Kimpton. Nixon, the hole, 0-2.
Well, John, you mentioned John Rowenhorst. In AA action, the Arkansas Travelers fell to Frisco 10-6. Frisco scored 7 runs in the final 2 at-bats for the come-from-behind win.
A pitch up and in to Kimpton. He leaned out of the way. 1-2 to Nick. He flew out to left his first time up. Kimpton hitting .282. No homers, 9 RBI. Left-handed Australian. Ball 2 outside.
Former Colonel John Rowenhorst with a record of 1-3 allowed 5 runs and took the loss in the comeback effort.
Well, that's too bad. John will bounce back from that. Let's see if Kimpton can read with the 2-2 count. A pitch off the glove of the catcher, a curveball, and it's 3-2 to Nick.
Former Colonel Tommy Murphy hit his 4th home run in that Travelers loss. And in single-A action, the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes fell to Lancaster 6-4.
Hey, here's a base hit into left down the line. Kimpton will speed to second. He'll make it. Nick Kimpton has a double, and that brings this big crowd alive. Nick didn't hit it hard. He hit it off the end of the bat, jumped it in front of Kevin Collins, the left fielder, and great base running by Kimpton. He looked out of the corner of his eye, into the bag at first, and made an instant decision, I can make it to second. And Collins looked a little bit, I don't want to say lackadaisical, but I don't think he thought Kimpton was going to challenge him. Nick's at second, and now a base hit by Aaron Deal would cut this Lansing lead right in half. 2-0 Lugnuts, and a second baseman. A walk! Matt Moss, I miss it. A balk has been called on Randy Well. I didn't see what he did.
Well, Kimpton took a good 8-9 foot lead there off second base, and Lugnut second baseman Robinson Chirinos dashed to second base thinking that thinking he was going to get the ball thrown to him for a tag.
And then Wells
was set and turned around, and the balk was called.
Okay, second balk in this game.
He was set.
And then he moved.
Yes, and then he whirled around.
Well, you know, a balk cost the Kernels a run way back in the first inning, and let's see if we can turn the tables on Lansing. We'll get to the Rancho Cucamonga quick good news here in a moment as far as former Kernels go. The first pitch to Aaron Peel as the crowd comes alive. Low in the dirt, ball one.
Oh, rounding out that Cucamonga loss, former Colonel B.J. Weed had 3 hits and an RBI. Former Colonel Mike Napoli had 2 hits and an RBI. And former Colonel Phil Wilson, who has a record of 2-4, gave up 8 hits and 6 runs in 5 1/3 innings.
Well, we hope Phil Wilson, the 6'8" right-hander, can come back and do well for Rancho. He's had some tough last couple of years with injuries. Ball 2 is downstairs, and this crowd is trying to help the Kernels come out of their kind of pressing mode and relax and get some things done here in the 6th inning. Swing and a miss by Aaron Peel as an off-speed pitch low and away had Aaron out on his front foot. Halo happenings, results from around the Anaheim Angel organization. We love checking those Halo happenings during all of our Colonel home broadcasts. Randy Wells delivers, and a swing and a miss by Aaron Peel, strike 2. Nick Kimpton with a 1-out double, advanced to third on a balk. All Aaron Peel really needs to do is put the ball in play on the ground, and the Kernels will cut this Lugnut lead in half because Lansing's infield is back. They'll be willing to trade an out for a run in this game. Ball 3 outside. Aaron Peel laid off that fastball. This game has gone so quickly that it's hard to believe we're already in the bottom of the 6th. Lansing leads it 2-0, but the Kernels have Kimpton at third with only 1 out. Here's the payoff pitch to Peel. In the dirt, ball 4. Kernels have runners at first and third with only 1 out, and that may bring the Lugnut pitching coach Mike Anderson out to the mound. Looks like he's coming out. We owe you a look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard, and if we can, we can start it now, Matt.
Well, John, the State Farm Major League scoreboard is brought to you for the next consecutive season by Dale Thompson, Lanny Peterson, Al Shetler, and Gary Schuback. In the American League, at Fenway Park, the Mariners and the Red Sox are under a rain delay. That game has not begun yet. At Jacobs Field, the Tribe and the Oakland A's are scoreless in the top of the 5th. At Comerica Park in Detroit, the Baltimore Orioles hold a 1-0 lead over the Tigers. That game's in the bottom of the 3rd. At Sky Dome, the Blue Jays hold a 5-1 advantage over the Texas Rangers. At Tropicana Field, the Devil Rays lead the Yankees 2-0. That game's in the top of the 4th. And at U.S. Cellular Field on the south side of Chicago, our parent club, the Anaheim Angels, hold a 1-0 edge over the White Sox.
And we'll get to the National League in just a little bit. Reed Willett, a right-hander, is on his feet in the Lansing bullpen. Kernels have runners at first and third, 1 out, trail 2-0 here in the 6th inning, and Quan Cosby is at the plate. Switch hitter batting left, reached on a bunt single his last time up. He grounds one to third, throw home, and the throw hit Kimpton. Peel will go to third, Quan will try for second, everybody's safe. The throw by Alberto Garcia hit Nick Kimpton in the back, and then ricocheted to the base of the backstop. That allowed Aaron Peel to go all the way to third. Quan Cosby reaches on a fielder's choice. He advances to second on a throwing error by Alberto Garcia. A costly throwing error by Garcia. Kimpton would have been out, but the throw hit him as he entered the dirt batting circle. It hit him and ricocheted to the backstop. Now a hit by Kendrick would give the Kernels the lead, and you would hear this crowd erupt if Howie Kendrick can come through. The Kernels get a huge break as Quan hit it softly to third, and Garcia, Matt, you'd agree if his throw was on target, I thought Kimpton would have gone.
Oh, yeah, he was going to be tagged. I was ready for a collision or a slide, and the ball skirted right off the back of Kimpton.
Howie takes a pitch just outside, ball 1.
In fact, Howie was at first base. I don't think he realized that the Quan was at first base. I don't even think he realized that the ball reached the backstop. He turned around and acted almost shocked and darted to second base.
Good base running by Quan. Ball too low to Howie Kendrick. And now it looks like Randy Wells is coming unraveled a bit. That'll give us a chance as the catcher visits the hill to take a scoop out of that National League scoreboard.
Well, at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, the Cubs hold a 5-4 lead over the Pirates. That game's in the bottom of the ninth, and that is part of a doubleheader out there in Pittsburgh. First match in the twin bill.
Now Wells is set. The 2-0 to Kendrick. Ball 3 low and away.
At Olympic Stadium in Montreal, the Reds looking to bounce back after dropping 2 to the Marlins. They hold a 3-2 advantage over the Expos in the bottom of the third.
Let's see if Howie Kendrick, he took a look at Bobby Magallanes. He may be swinging on this PO count. No, ball 4. They're loaded up for Bobby Wilson. The Kernels have only 1 hit in this inning, 2 walks, a balk, an error. And now let's see if the Lugnuts have a quick hook. Randy Wells is going to be lifted. We'll tell you about Reed Willett in a moment. But, Matt, a doubleheader at PNC Park. The Cubs and Pirates well along in Game 1, you said.
Bottom of the ninth, Cubs leading 5-4. First game in that twin bill. I gave the score for the Expos. Yes, I did. The Reds leading the Expos 3-2 at the bottom of the third. The Braves hold a 2-0 advantage over the Phillies. That game at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia. At Pro Players Stadium in Miami, Florida. The Marlins hold a 2-0 lead over the Mets. In the top of the first, at Minute Maid Park in Houston, the Astros and the Cardinals are scoreless. I guess in the top of the first. And Brew Crew and the Padres are scoreless in the top of the first as well. That game being played at Miller Park. And tonight's matchups in the National League, the Cubs, as we said earlier, and the Pirates will meet in that second game of the doubleheader at 9:10 Central Time. The Diamondbacks and the Dodgers will meet at Dodger Stadium at 9:15. Boy, I think that one got cut off on my scoreboard. There we go. The Rockies and the Giants meet at 9:15 tonight. That game is in San Francisco.
Well, Matt, thank you so much. This game has gone so quickly. We're catching up to where we should be, and you're now ready to tell us about Reed Willett, a right-hander.
Reed Willett has a record of 0 wins and 2 losses. He has an earned run average of 3.54. Through 20 and a third innings pitched, he has 24 hits. He's fanned 13, and he's walked 6. And Midwest League batters are hitting .293 against him.
Well, Reed is a New Englander. He's tall, 6'6", 210. He's from Nashua, New Hampshire, a Cub 21st round pick last year. And he went to the University of Rhode Island. There's another school that's noted more for their basketball than baseball. Willett, W-I-L-L-E-T-T. Reed is R-E-I-D, and the Lugnut infield is halfway. Way in on the grass at first is Brian DePerick, and everybody else is halfway. They could come home to try to cut down the tying run. Bobby Wilson looks at a slider low and away. The Kernels have just 1 hit in this inning. It was a 1-out double by Kimpton. Nick scored as a throw from third baseman Alberto Garcia struck him in the back about 10 feet from home plate. Bases loaded, only 1 out, 2-1 Lansing. Strike 1 called from Reed Willett.
You don't see too many balks in games, do you, John?
Especially 2-in-1 game. Exactly.
Two that lead a run, the 2-1 game.
Very unusual, but indicative that the stress level for both these clubs is higher than in a normal game. Ball 2, that looked like a split finger delivery or maybe a changeup in the dirt, and it's 2-1 to Bobby Wilson.
You mentioned earlier this week that in our game against the Kane County Cougars that had almost a playoff atmosphere the way they were giving it their all. You can almost say it's like that this evening as well.
It really is, and it helps to have this big crowd here to make it even more dramatic. Bobby ahead 2-1. Ball 3 low and away. Bobby Wilson has worked the count in his favor. Remember, the Kernels are facing a team with the best ERA in the league, 2.86. But we have chased a starter who did remarkably well tonight, a converted catcher, Randy Wells. He went 5 1/3, and that's deeper than I think the Lugnuts thought he might go. The 3-1 to Bobby with the bases jammed. Ball 4.
And the tying run will get a free pass to home.
And that's Aaron Peel. 3 walks in the inning. Aaron Peel crosses the plate. That run is charged to the departed starter, Randy Wells. And the game is tied 2-2. An RBI for Bobby Wilson, his 26th of the season. And now Matt Brown could give the Kernels their first lead of the night.
And Matt Brown is definitely not who you want to face if you're Reed Willett. He's hit 8 home runs in his last 12 games.
And Matt loves these pressure cook situations. Willett is working from the stretch. A breaking pitch in there at the knees, a strike called. The Lugnuts are playing, I'm still going to describe it halfway. In other words, a ground ball, they could go home or they could turn 2. Outfield plays Matt Brown to hit the other way a little bit. In center field, at least Chris Walker does. He's in right center. A breaking pitch in the third, and preventing the Kernels from taking the lead was catcher Alan Rick. He scrambled on his knees on a nasty pitch down and away. For some inexplicable reason, Ron Pine in uniform, the Roadrunner, is roaming down the umpire's tunnel. Some things can't be explained. Bases loaded, 1 out, 2-2 the score, bottom of the 6th inning. Willett to Matt Brown, low, ball 2.
Boy, Matt Brown might even just try to work the count here and walk in the go-ahead run.
And that's what Bobby Wilson did, Matt, precisely. He was very patient, and that's team baseball. When you're playing well as a team like the Kernels have been, you don't try to do it all yourself. You rely on doing the right thing. Matt waits for this 2-1. It's a fastball at the knees, outside corner. A terrific pitch by the 6'6" right-hander from, as they would say out east, Nashua, New Hampshire. I'm from Nashua, New Hampshire. He went to Rhode Island. We're talking about the relief pitcher, Reed Willett. He's trying to he's about to work home the 2-2 to Brownie. And Matt spoils a good curveball and lofts it foul off to the right. The Kernels have tied the game here in the home half of the 6th. 2-2 before a crowd well up into the 2000s, and we're hoping into the 3000s.
Boy, what better way to spend a beautiful Friday evening, John?
Oh, you bet, Matt. No better place to be with your family and friends or co-workers if you have a picnic here than the beautiful new stadium. Cosby at third, Kendrick at second, Wilson at first. Matt Brown waits as the right-hander steps off the rubber. Quan Cosby has a short lead at third. Howie Kendrick with his hands on his knees at second. Same with Bobby Wilson at first. Matt Brown fouls one over the backstop. A big roar of approval. Somebody got a rebound, a ricochet, and has earned a lifetime honorary Colonel contract, as well as a free spaghetti dinner to Zio Giano's. Alan Rick is wearing black shin guards, a black chest protector. He went out to the hill to have a brief word with his relief pitcher, Reed Willett. Matt Brown is trying to knock in the go-ahead run here in the bottom of the 6th. Bases loaded, 1 out. Another 2-2 offering from the tall righty. A high, deep drive in center, away back in front of the warning track. Walker has it, heading at third is Quan Cosby. 3-2 Kernels.
This crowd has definitely come alive.
Alive after a Kernel 3-run 6th inning. It's still going. Howie Kendrick got on his horse and galloped to third as Quan Cosby scored, and Matt Brown did exactly what the Kernels wanted. He got the fly ball into deep center for his team-high 41st run driven in the year. 3-2 Kernels. Runners at the corners, 2 gone. Left-handed hitting Matt Pauley at the plate. That run scored by Cosby charged to Randy Wells, the starter. A let-up is a strike called on the outside corner. 3-2 Kernels, bottom of the 6th inning. Matt Pauly's been scuffling a little bit lately. He's nothing for 2 in this game. He flied to center twice. Straightaway stance, left-handed batter. And swing and a miss on a good changeup. Matt in the hole, 0-2. Pauly steps out. Reed Willett in relief of the starter, Randy Wells. Ahead of Paul, 0-2. Ball 1, a fastball outside. Howie Kendrick at third, Bobby Wilson at first. The Kernels have had some help in scoring 3 here in the 6th inning. They have just 1 hit, but have drawn 3 walks, caused an error, and a balk. A line drive foul above the lawn section. The kids race after that one. Matt checks his bat. Looks like Black Betsy from here, doesn't it, Matt?
Yeah, that's swinging that black lacquer bat. We see many Black Betsy test against a gymnasium or auditorium floor there when we teach the kids how to test for cracks. That's part of our Toyota Financial Services ring program assembly routine. Ooh, a backdoor curve, and it just missed. The Lugnuts wanted the call. Did not get it from the seasoned big league pro, Bob Davidson, working the plate. Well, John, we wrapped up our reading program assembly today. How's it feel?
Well, it feels both relief and sadness, quite frankly, Matt. A mixture of both. We work awfully hard, but we're glad to do it. The 2-2. A high deep drive to right will be caught by Carlos Mejia. I thought Pauly got a little bit more of it, and sorry to bring you to the edge of your seats, but the Kernels did so with a 3-run 6th inning. Pauly flies to right. 3 runs in the 6th for the Kernels on 1 hit. 3 walks, 1 Lansing error, a balk, and the Kernels leave their first 2 men stranded this evening. Abel Marino will return to the hill. He certainly deserves a lead. He's kept Lansing in check throughout the evening. We go to the 7th, and it's now the Kernels 3, the Lugnuts 2, and you're tuned to Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
Whether you're a serious athlete or a weekend warrior, injuries can take you out of your game. Smart athletes know that Physiotherapy Associates in Cedar Rapids are the experts in the treatment and prevention of sport-related injuries. Our expert staff serves the metro and surrounding area high school athletes. Physiotherapy Associates of Cedar Rapids, the smart choice in sports medicine. Call us at 398-1569. That's 398-1569. We'll get you back in your game today.
Airport National 27-hole public golf course invites you to join our golf family all year with these great specials. 2-for-1 green piece with cart, 2-for-1 range ball, 2-for-1 mini golf. Listen to this unbelievable new special. Only $25 per person for unlimited golf with cart all day long on weekdays. And only $27 per person for unlimited golf, including cart on weekends. Play unlimited twilight golf till dark with free riding cart for only $60 per person. Enjoy fast, friendly, and fun family golf at Cedar Rapids Airport National.
People say that I can't decide things. They are so wrong, but I could be wrong about that.
A U.S. Bank check card with checking that pays gives you a choice of rewards, like cash, points for merchandise and gift certificates, World Perks miles, or even sweepstakes entries.
Easy decision. I'll take the cash. No, it's a sweep.
Sign up at your local U.S. Bank or call 1-800-720-BANK.
I've made up my mind to put off my decision. That is final.
U.S. Bank.
No, wait.
See banker for complete details. Member FDIC.
Chocolate Thunder at the
Won a used car recently, and this is an annual event. It's Pet McGrath Chevyland Used Car Night, and a couple of really nice-looking used pre-owned cars from Pet McGrath Chevyland have been awarded already this evening. Thanks to the able work of Al Gruel, our official scorer, we have the final line on Randy Wells, the starter. He went 5 1/3, allowed 3 runs, 1 earned on 3 hits. He fanned 4, he walked 2, and he committed a balk. 3-2 Kernels, top of the 7th. Abel Marino spins a curveball in at the knees to Drew Larson, designated hitter. Larson has grounded to short and single. He swings and misses at a good breaking pitch. Strike 2. We know that there are a lot of Cubs fans out there. That's why we kind of took a Cub theme tonight with our Springhouse Family Restaurant baseball trivia question. We're going to do the same as we go along here in the top of the 7th with our Kernel of Wisdom. First, let's tell you the Kernels have a right-hander throwing in their bullpen. Ball 1 is high to Drew Larson. It's still 1-2.
Well, John, you weren't joking about that.
Strike 3 called. 1 away in the 7th inning, and that for Abel Marino is his 6th strikeout. Matt,
you were correct in saying we have a Cub theme tonight.
Yes.
I was down in the concourse in the 4th inning, and I saw numerous people with a Kernel shirt and a Cubs hat, or a Cubs jersey with a Kernel hat on. So we've got a nice medley of Cubs fandom and Angels and Kernels fandom out here tonight.
Well, that's gratifying to know, Matt, because, a check swing and a slow roller to second. Boy, did Alberto Garcia get cheated. Alberto Garcia checked his swing, and the ball rattled off the barrel of his bat. A weak grounder to Howie Kendrick, and just like that, there are 2 gone in the Lansing 7th, 3-2 Kernels. Aaron Pullen is on his feet, warming in the Kernel bullpen.
Boy, some of these innings, if you blink, you might miss it.
That's about the pace it's been at. If you blink, you'll miss it. Swinging on the first pitch and powdering one foul onto the top of the Papa John's Plaza. Strike 1 is the number 9 hitter, Carlos Mejia. Abel's 0-1 is a ground ball, a broken bat grounder to deep short, backhanded by Rodriguez, and man, what a rifle by Sean Rodriguez. Sean Rodriguez had a tough play because Matt Brown was sprawled out to his in front of him trying to cut that broken bat grounder off, but Sean made a great throw, and down in order go the Lugnuts in the top of the 7th inning. This big, boisterous crowd, as Matt described it, with a sprinkling of Cub fans, rises to their feet for the 7th inning stretch as we head to the home half of the 7th. Our Kernel of Wisdom come your way in the bottom of the 7th. The Kernels lead Lansing 3-2, and you're listening to Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
Toyota Financial Services of Cedar Rapids understands the importance of reading in the lives of our community's children. That's why they're proud to fund the 6th annual Toyota Financial Services Kernel Summer Reading Program. The generous support of Toyota Financial Services will result in Kernel players conducting a record 32 elementary school assemblies this spring to encourage girls and boys to read throughout the summer. Their reading accomplishments will be recognized by Toyota Financial Services with fabulous rewards. Toyota Financial Services, a true hero to the Kernels and the youth of our community.
Checking out the classifieds?
Yeah, I'm tired of working at dead-end jobs. I want to work for a company that offers opportunity.
You know, I just got a job at Access Direct, and they're looking for people like you.
Really? What makes Access Direct so different?
I'm making $9 an hour, and I'll be getting a 50-cent increase within 6 months. Plus, there's always room for advancement.
How about benefits?
Access Direct has a full benefit package that includes 401k.
And vacations?
Access Direct offers 10 days vacation plus holidays.
Why am I looking in the classified?
Put that paper down.
Can we go to Access Direct right now so I can apply?
Let's go.
Don't settle for just any job. Find your future at Access Direct. You'll enjoy a relaxed, friendly work environment, and you'll work with great people just like yourself. Plus, you'll receive a competitive wage, benefits including 401k, 10 days vacation, and holiday off. Check out Access Direct today, corner of Wiley and Williams Boulevard, and just off the Coralville Strip in Coralville.
Welcome back. 7th inning stretch completed. Happy crowd. Ball 1 low to Sean Rodriguez. Now a strike from the relief hurler, Reed Willett. He's working his first. Well, actually, he got 2 of the 3 outs in the Kernel 3-run 6th inning. So this is his first full inning of work. A curve outside to Sean. 2-1. He's grounded to short twice. Ball 3 is low. Most Iowans are familiar with a wonderful town north of here, Marshalltown. They have a terrific junior college up there. And you'll be surprised at how Marshalltown, Iowa relates to our Kernel of Wisdom tonight. Ball 4 to Rodriguez.
North and west, if I'm not mistaken, John. Out there by Ames.
Well, a lot of you Kernel fans have heard of Cap Anson. And some of you may know he grew up in Marshalltown. He's a Hall of Famer, but What we're about to unveil on the Kernel of Wisdom, I think, is going to be intriguing to everyone, even if you're not a huge baseball fan. Blake Balcom, the batter. A throw to first, the runner back.
Well, John, for the Kernel of Wisdom tonight, we're taking people all the way back to the 19th century, back to the 1800s. And as you said, Cap Anson, a native Iowan, was born Adrian Constantine Anson in Marshalltown, Iowa on April 11, 1852. But did you know that his father was one of the founders of the city of Marshalltown, and they almost named the city Ansonia?
Strike one to Balcom. That just is really one of those pieces of history, Matt, that unless you do a little bit of research, I would have never known that.
You know, and that's what I do here in our prep time before the games. I sit here and thumb through your library looking for all kinds of juicy tidbits.
And it takes a special mind to do that, believe me, folks. A throw to first, and Rodriguez is back safely.
You know, I have a penchant for that early modern, before the modern era baseball, that late 19th century, early 20th century, kind of the dark ages where a lot of people forget.
We all do, that's right.
A lot of great ball players in that era.
We'll talk a little more about Cap. He was a great one, a Hall of Famer. A throw to first, and diving back in is Sean Rodriguez. 3-2 Kernels, bottom of the seventh. Rodriguez is 10 for 12 in stolen base attempts. Blake Balcom is 1 for 2 tonight. Singled leading off the third, struck out leading off the sixth. Blake hitting at .268, 3 homers, 15 RBIs. Reed Willett, the tall right-hander, set below the chin. Another throw to first. Rodriguez back standing up.
Well, John, in 1869, Cap Anson attended the University of Notre Dame, where he helped organize their first baseball team, their first 9-man baseball team. 1869.
Right after the Civil War, really. The 0-1 to Balcom. Is it fine? Yeah, there goes Rodriguez. Now he stops in a pitch low. Nobody paid attention to the pitch, Matt. Even the plate umpire was looking to see what Rodriguez was doing.
I'm just glad to see Rodriguez isn't limping or favoring his foot after stubbing his toe on first base there.
His last trip up, that's right. I almost let that slip my mind.
Glad to see he's not feeling too many ill effects from that.
He has a good size lead, this Sean. He's not running. Blake takes strike 2, a slider. Balcom steps all the way out of the dirt batting circle.
Well, John, you mentioned that Cap Anson is a Hall of Famer. Listen to some of his accomplishments. He holds 6 Cub batting records for batting average. These are lifetime batting records. Average, runs, hit, singles, doubles, and runs batted in.
Man, that's amazing. When you think about Ernie Hanks and Billy Williams and Ryan Sandberg and Hank Sauer, all those records have stood the test of time.
In fact, he wasn't even the club wasn't even known as the Cub back then. They were known as the White Stockings.
Blake Balcom waits patiently. There goes Sean, a pitch out. Now he stops. Boy, this is a real cat and mouse game. Remember earlier, Blake Balcom was caught trying to steal second on a pitch out. Rodriguez took 3 quick steps towards second. The pitch out makes ball 2 to Balcom.
Originally known as the White Stockings, they were later given the moniker the Cubs by Chicago area press.
Blake waits for the 2-2, and the pitcher steps off the rubber. Sean Rodriguez has really rattled Reed Willett and the Lansing Lugnuts. They are so cognizant of Rodriguez over there at first that Blake Balcom has been up at the dish for what seemed to be almost 5 minutes. Nothing wrong with that. The count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. There goes the runner. He stops. The curve, strike 3 called. Well, perhaps Rodriguez also distracted Blake Balcom as well as the Lugnuts. A dandy curve by Reed Willett. 1 gone on a called strike 3 to Blake Balcom. Bottom of the 7th, 3-2 Kernels.
Cap Anson, the topic of our Kernel of Wisdom tonight. John, I told you he helped organize baseball at the University of Notre Dame. He holds 6 lifetime batting records for the Cubs. He also ranks in the top 10 in 7 additional batting categories: games played, at-bats, stolen bases, total bases, triples, walks, and extra base hits.
And no better name for a baseball player than Cap.
He got the nickname as the when he became the manager, they called him the captain.
Well, that's good research, too. I had no idea of that. One thing we aren't going to dwell on, but if we're going to be accurate historians, we'll get to it in a moment, Matt. And again, we're not trying to throw cheap shots at Cap Anson, but we need to be fair about. Here's a little looper off the end of the bat by Kimpton. This thing may fall, and left it does. It falls between the shortstop Carlos Rojas, Kevin Collins at left, and Chris Walker in center. Sean Rodriguez trots to the second. Nick Kemp got the Kernels 3-run sixth started with a opposite field bloop double, and he's out 2 for 3 as he jumps the single into left. 2 on, 1 out for Aaron Peel, and out in front of the plate is the catcher Alan Rick. And we don't know Cap Anson well enough, Matt, to term him a racist, but he did block the possibility of baseball integrating, right?
Yes, he did help segregate the national pastime. In 1883, the White Stockings showed up for an exhibition game in Toledo, Ohio. The presence of Moses Fleetwood Walker, an African-American ball player in the opposing lineup, upset Cap Anson so much that he cursed and raged from the dugout and threatened to withdraw his team from the game. This was when he was managing the White Stockings.
And again, we say this, a racist mind, yet Cap Anson, with the history in Iowa, just a very intriguing subject for a kernel of wisdom. And Cap Anson is a Hall of Famer. A strike call to Aaron Peel. It's 1-1. We don't condone what Cap Anson did. In fact, we are very hurt that he did that and disappointed, but we also want to make sure that you keep it in the context that that was something that had been done before, and I'm sure Cap Anson didn't single-handedly prevent baseball from being integrated, but he sure didn't want any part of it back in the 1800s. That's what we're saying. The 2-1 to Aaron Peel with a chance to add the Kernel 1-run lead, and he taps it foul. Bobby Matianas coaching at third, leaps up, but it gets over his head. Aaron is struck out, walked, and scored. Well, Matt, you did a great job bringing Cap Anson's life to life in a very succinct way. Any other final thoughts about him?
Well, there was one of what I considered the most interesting fact about Cap Anson was that when he died in 1922, I believe.
The 2-2 to Aaron Peel. Outside and high, ball 3. A throw to first. It goes past the first baseman into right field. Rounding third, Rodriguez. He holds up. And the right fielder guns in a strike to the catcher, Alan Rick. A huge error committed by Alan Rick, the catcher. He threw in behind Nick Kimpton at first base of all places, and he threw it beyond the reach of Brian Doperick at first. Doperick got a glove on it. Then it rolled into right field. Carlos Mejia prevented Rodriguez from scoring from second, but Sean went to third, and that's a huge error committed by the catcher, Alan Rick. The second error, now Aaron Peel with the infield in, has run a count full. Infield in, 1 out, 3-2 Kernels, bottom of the 7th, and Peel stepped out.
Well, John, as I said, Cap Anson died in 1922. He was involved with baseball right till the end, but he died thinking he was the first member of the 3,000 hit club. Well, that turned out not to be true. He finished with 2,995 hits with the White Stockings in the National League.
The payoff to Peel, just missed outside, ball 4. Aaron took a curve, low and away. He walked for the second time, and now the bases are loaded with 1 out for Quan Cosby. Here comes Mike Anderson, the Lansing pitching coach, out the hill. Well, I have a feeling the reason Cap Anson's records have been kind of in flux or not agreed upon, that might have been the era in which he played.
Right, like I said earlier, that early modern, pre-modern era baseball, a lot of that's kind of murky. It's just exactly what, a lot of it's just legend, by now. But as I said, he had 2,995 hits, 5 shy of 3,000 with the Chicago White Stockings of National League. However, he had an additional 423 hits in the National Association. He played for a couple different teams, including Rockford and Philadelphia. The National Association was the first major league in the United States.
Boy, there's a lot of history there. Well, we have a pitching change. And a lefty, Clay Rapada, has come in to relieve fellow bullpen Reed Willett. Clay Rapada pitched last year for the Lugnuts. Now, Quan Cosby is the batter with the bases loaded, 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Quan will bat right-handed for the first time in this game, facing Clay Rapada. Clay Rapada is a 6'5" slim lefty from Virginia State University. Last year with the Lugnuts, he pitched in 21 games, 17 in relief, 4 as a start. He was 1-2 with a 5.31 ERA. Reed Willett leaves this game having walked 3. He pitched an inning and a third. He struck out 1, and he allowed 1 hit. How many runs he will give up has yet to be determined. This is an understatement. This is a pivotal point in this game. Quan Cosby, batting right-handed, has a bunt single. He's reached on a fielder's choice, and he scored. Infield in for Lansing. Rapada, the lefty, is set. Oh, he's a submariner, and a strike called. Matt, I was so busy looking at his background, I didn't see his warm-up pitches. Very rare to see a left-handed submarine pitcher.
Boy, that's got to be tough to see the ball coming at you.
And I bet Quan Cosby has never seen a submarine lefty. A ground ball to second. Throw home for a force out. Throw to first not made. Well, Quan Cosby hit it sharply to the drawn-in infielder Robinson Chirinos. Chirinos knew exactly what to do with it. He threw home. The play went 4-2. Chirinos to Alan Rick for the force of Sean Rodriguez. Quan reaches on a fielder's choice. On to third went Kimpton. Peel went to second. Let's see if Kendrick can pick up his teammate, Quan Cosby. Quan could not get a run home from third with less than 2 outs. Bases loaded, 2 out for Howie. He goes up hacking and fouls one into the backstop.
Well, John, to put a cap on Cap Anson here, I said he had 2,995 hits with the White Stockings, later to become the Cubs. He had 423 hits in the National Association.
Now the 0-1, and a ground ball sharply hit to second, and the second baseman underhands to Carlos Rojas, and the Kernels are unable to add to their lead. Boy, this was a good opportunity, and you got to credit Clay Rapada. He came in and got both Quan Cosby and Howie Kendrick to hit sharp grounders to second base. The force at second of Quan went Chirinos to Rojas. In the 7th inning, no runs for the Kernels. 1 hit, 1 Lugnut error. The Kernels leave the bases loaded. They've stranded 5. And this playoff-like atmosphere rolls ahead to the 8th inning. It's the Kernels 3, Lansing 2, and you're listening to Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
What is ESPN Radio? It's not that hard. You're a sports fan? This is the sports station. It's ESPN. That means sports. The games, the experts, the analysis, the scores, the highlights, the people who know their stuff. It's good conversation. It's ESPN. It's radio. You know, the box that all the sounds come out of. At your home, in your car, where you work, even in your computer. It's everywhere you go. It's radio. It's ESPN. It's ESPN Radio. That's all it is.
It's an information jungle out there. Predators are after your money, looking for that credit card receipt left behind, that blank check you lost. Any information to help them claim another victim of America's growing crime, identity theft. Don't give information to people who don't know, and report suspected fraud to your bank. Learn more at www.aba.com. And stay out of jungle. This safety message is brought to you by Bank Iowa, Iowa's hometown bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This Memorial Day, the Cedar Rapids Kernels and the Zone ESPN Radio 1600 AM pay respect to the veterans who have made the ultimate sacrifice, protecting the basic freedoms of the United States of America. We also wish to salute the brave men and women now proudly serving our country. To these soldiers who stand in harm's way, our prayers are with you. We wish you a safe and timely return home. This message has been sponsored by the Cedar Rapids Kernels.
With the bases loaded in the bottom of the 7th and 1 out, lefty submarine lefting Clay Rapada prevented the Kernels from adding to their lead. Working deeper into any game he had this season, is Abel Marino, and he faces the top of the Lugnut order, Chris Walker. Tries to bunt his way on, missed the high fastball, strike one. Aaron Pullen is up in the right field Colonel bullpen, tossing lightly. Abel Marino has pitched brilliantly. The 0-1. High and in, and that low bridge, or had the batter jackknifing out of the way. The longest Abel Marino has gone this season, he has gone 6 innings 4 times. So he's in uncharted waters. He's working the top of the 8th. Obviously, his pitch count is low because of his economic style. He has not walked a batter. He's hit batter. That's the leadoff man, Chris Walker. He hit him in the first inning, and he scored. A gust of wind comes into our broadcast booth as Abel's pitch is fouled off to the left in the air. Strike 2 to Chris Walker. 3-2 Kernels. We've been out hit 6-4, and a 3-run 6th inning catapulted us ahead of the Lugnuts. The left-handed speedster, Walker, rips one foul into the backstop, and it's still 2-2. Matt Moss, Colonel broadcast assistant, we have terrific news to report out our attendance count tonight. We'll have it in a moment. A let up. Ooh, it just missed low, ball 3.
Yeah, John, pretty good sized crowd here tonight. Our attendance for this evening's ball game, 2,657.
The payoff pitch. Oh, we did something we are going to regret. We walked Chris Walker. He leads the league in steals, and all kinds of havoc now, all kinds of pressure on the Colonel defense. 3-2 Kernels, and you've got to make Walker hit the ball. Even if he hits a home run, so be it, but you cannot walk him. And Abel has pitched so magnificently well tonight that we're not going to dwell on it, but it is going to be a lot of pressure now on the Colonel defense with that league leader in steals, Chris Walker, drawing a throw already. He dives back in hand first.
Too many times, John, we've seen that leadoff walk lead to some havoc.
And let's hope it is not the case this time. A throw to first. Matt Pauley's tag a bit late as Chris got back in hand first again. Carlos Rojas is up, and he's going to be bunting. At least that's what he's shown so far, even though he hasn't seen a pitch. Matt Brown is way in, 10 feet in on the grass at third. Abel stepped off the rubber. Rojas has shown bunt already, even though he hasn't seen a pitch. He's not bunting. He busts one off his fifth foul onto the Papa John's Plaza. So a good piece of deception by skipper Julio Garcia, coaching at third for Lansing, and the batter, Carlos Rojas.
Well, John, we're working on wrapping up our Colonel's wisdom with Cap Anson. I've already mentioned a couple times he had just a shade under 3,000 hits.
And just a shade late back to first is Chris Walker. Abel picked him off. What a huge pickoff play. It went 1-3. Chris Walker was leaning just a bit too much, and that is a huge pickoff of Chris Walker by Abel Marino. The 0-1 to the batter, swing and a miss, strike 2. I think old Cap Anson from Marshalltown, Iowa.
Ansonia?
Yes, Ansonia might be giving us a big lift here in this 8th inning. A check swing and a foul into the screen.
Well, John, I consulted the Lansing, the Chicago Cubs info guide, the 2004-2005 info guide, and they list Cap Anson as having 3,081 hits. So
there's that disparity we talked about. A high pop foul down the right field line. Howie Kendrick into the Colonel bullpen. Cannot get there. Neither could Blake Balcom. Agonizingly beyond the reach of Pauley, Kendrick, and Balcom was the foul ball by Carlos Rojas. He remains in the hole. 0-2.
So a very good example of just how those murky and nebulous late 19th century, early 20th century stats can be. They're really hard to get a thumb on official statistics. You just kind of got to go with what you have in front of you.
A foul to the screen, and I credit the Cubs for giving Cap Anson the benefit of the doubt because, as you said, Matt, he went to his grave thinking he was the first guy ever with 3,000 hits, and by some historians, he is. By others, he's not. A looper over the head of Sean Rodriguez, a base hit. Well, Carlos Rojas was in the hole 0-2. His foul ball into the Colonel bullpen, narrowly out of the reach of Blake Balcom and Howie Kendrick, and wouldn't you know it, the tying run at first with 1 out Thank goodness Abel Marino was able to pick off Chris Walker. Otherwise, there would be runners at first and third with nobody out now.
Huge play, that pickoff.
Let's see if we can get Brian Droperic to get into the game's first double play. I know that's asking a lot from a guy hitting 266, 11 homers, 30 RBIs, but maybe, just maybe, we can get the pitcher's best friend. Even Droperic's bat looks menacing. It's a ground ball base hit to left and the tying run to second. That will likely be it for Abel Marino. He is out of gas here in the top of the 8th inning. Brian Droperic uses a dark brown colored bat, and he has his second hit of the game. Stopping at second was Carlos Rojas, and Bobby Magallanes indeed is going to have to make a pitching change. Aaron Pullen will come in, and let's hear the hand right now for Abel Marino. That ovation should tell you how many rabid baseball fans are here tonight. A huge round of applause for Abel Marino. He goes 7 1/3. So far, he's yielded 2 runs on 8 hits. Abel struck out 6, and he walked 1, the leadoff batter here in the 8th inning. It's 3-2 Kernels, and while Aaron Pullen answers this U.S. Cellular call to the bullpen, we have more fun in store for you tomorrow evening. The game starts at 5, gates open at 4. Make us part of your Memorial Day family fun. You can come out to the ballpark, enjoy a supper tomorrow. Those 5 o'clock starts are so popular. And then Sunday, the Superstars will be here. Those are oversized, animated, gyrating baseball characters. Clammy Sosa, Shark McGuire, Cal, C-O-W, Ripken Jr. among them, Ken Giraffe Jr. The gates open at 1 on Sunday, and those Superstars are a big, big reason to come on Sunday. Then we wrap up the 11-game homestand with the Memorial Day Monday contest at 2 o'clock. Aaron Pullen, a 23-year-old right-hander out of Texas Arlington, pitched an inning and a third of scoreless baseball Wednesday night. That was in a Kernel 4-3 victory over Dayton. So Aaron Pullen is on in a very, very crucial situation. He's facing a slugger, Kevin Collins. Kevin hitting .336, 13 homers, 13 homers, 38 RBIs. This guy is some hitter. He doubled his last time up. Pullen's curve is low, ball 1.
Sometimes the tempo of this game is slowed way down.
It has, because so much is on the line. 3-2 Kernels, top of the 8th inning. Tying run at second, Carlos Rojas. Go ahead run at first, Brian Perrick. Pullen checked the runner at second. And a strike at the knees, a good breaking pitch to Kevin Collins. Kevin Collins is 4th in the league in hitting, and he leads Lansing in homers and RBIs. He's a left-handed batter with a straightaway stance, and he waits for the 1-1 from the Kernel right-hander. Low, ball 2. Kevin Collins, out of Pasco Hernando Community College in Florida, was a 24th round pick of the Cubs back in '99. He's 23 years old. Ball 3, low and away, a fastball. In the Kernel bullpen.
Action in bullpen.
Bob Zimmerman. Aaron Pullen's in a heap of trouble. He's behind one of the best hitters in the league, 3-1. A grounder to short, could be 2. Rodriguez to Howie, 1. Got a ball! What a huge double play! Aaron Pullen got one of the league's most dangerous hitters to stroke a one-hopper to Sean Rodriguez. Rodriguez calmly underhand to Howie Kendrick, and then Howie throw in plenty of time to complete the inning-ending 6-4-3 double play. How's that for clutch? Instant release from Aaron Pullen. Huge double play turned by the Kernels. No runs for Lansing in the 8th. a walk, a man picked off, 2 Lugnut hits, no Kernel errors. The Kernels turn their first double play of the game, and Lansing leaves a runner aboard. They've stranded 5. We go to the home half of the 8th inning. The Kernels nursing a 3-2 lead over the Lugnuts. You're listening to Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
Kernels fans, your Cedar Rapids Taco Bell restaurant has something new for you to cheer about this season. A Taco Bell 10 spot. When the Kernels score 10 or more runs in any game this season, you'll score beef tacos for just 39 cents the very next day at any Cedar Rapids Taco Bell. That's a savings of 50 cents per taco, limit 10 per customer. Remember, when the Kernels put up a Taco Bell 10 spot by plating 10 or more runs in any game, you get a 10 39-cent beef tacos the very next day at any Cedar Rapids Taco Bell.
What's wrong with you, Bugsy? You look like you lost the roof over your head.
That's exactly what happened, Dollface. You see, we got another family trying to move into our territory. The termite family. They already ate my weekend hideaway, and they gotta be stopped before they take over the whole town.
Oh, Bugsy, they're so tough and mean. Don't go getting yourself hurt or nothing.
Don't you worry your pretty little head, Toots. I'll get someone else to do my dirt work. Someone I can trust to put the termite family out of business. Certified Pest and Termite Control. With Certified Pest and Termite Control, I know the termite family will be wearing cement shoes and sleeping with the fishes.
You can trust the experienced, fully licensed staff at Certified Pest and Termite Control. Certified offers guaranteed inspections and a 10% discount for seniors. For pest control service and supplies, look for the Giant Ant at 1141 16th Avenue Southwest in Cedar Rapids.
We go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and soft-throwing submariner Clay Rapada keeping Lansing in this game by preventing the Kernels from scoring with the bases loaded. 1 out back in the 7th. 1-1 to Bobby Wilson, who lines a single into center. Bobby double thumped on that slow submarine delivery from lefty Clay Rapada. And oh, could the Kernels use a run or two here in the bottom of the 8th, leading the Lugnuts 3-2. The line is final on Abel Marino, and thanks to an unbelievably clutch double play served up by Aaron Pullen, Abel could win this game. He went 7 1/3, allowed 2 runs on 8 hits, struck out 6, walked 1. And now Matt Brown, believe it or not, may be called upon to bunt, even though he's such a big slugger. Nope, he hits into a double play, I think. The shortstop to second out, on to first, safe. And the reason, Matt Moss, it wasn't a sure double play is that Carlos Rojas had trouble with it.
Yep, Rojas had it in a mitt, and he had a little flub there, and transferring it from the mitt to his glove, and he bobbled it. Resulted in Brown was able to beat out the throw and make it to first.
A force of Bobby Wilson.
Bobby Wilson. I said Matt Brown.
No, Matt, you're right. Brownie made it to first. Bobby was forced 6-4. That should have been a double play. Now, Matt Pauley at the plate, nothing for 3. A throw to first, and boy, Matt Brown and Justin Bachman looking at each other. I think they're saying, what kind of pickoff move was that from that lefty Clay Rapada?
Very unorthodox, looking with that submarine throw for the pickoff.
Everything about this guy is unorthodox except he's effective. Matt Pauley faces a few Lugnuts to cover as he lines one softly into their third base dugout. Runner at first, 1 away. 3-2 Kernels. We've been out hit 8-5, but lead the game by a run on Arthur Elementary School night.
Those 2 errors are looming large there for the Lugnuts.
The difference in the game. A strike on the outside corner. Well, actually, they got away with that throwing error in the 7th, but the error back in the 6th inning, as you said, Matt, turned the whole inning around. The Kernels took advantage and scored 2 unearned runs. A ground ball off the pitcher's glove. The third baseman, bare hands, throws not in time. Hey, the Kernels get a big break as Clay Rapada could not come up with that sharply hit comebacker. Al Gruwell, our official scorer, promptly gives us the ruling, a base hit for Matt Pauley. He hit it sharply off the pitcher's glove. It rolled to the left of the mound, to the right of Clay Rapada. It was barehanded by Alberto Garcia. His throw to first was low and late, and Matt Pauley was really bearing down, running as hard as he could to first base, and he beat the throw for an infield single. 2 on, 1 out. Can Sean Rodriguez deliver a telling blow in this bottom of the 8th inning? Ground ball, yes, off the first baseman, into the Colonel bullpen. Racing home to make it 4-2 is Matt Brown. A smash by Sean Rodriguez. A smash off Brian Traperic's glove into foul ground. They've ruled it a hit. And an RBI for Sean Rodriguez. Matt Brown scored. Remember, the Lugnuts should be out of this inning. Rodriguez should have never come to the plate. Why? Because Carlos Rojas fumbled a sure double play ball with nobody out to start this 8th inning. And then Clay Rapada hurt himself by not being able to field a comebacker, although it was hit well by Matt Pauley. Pauley is over at third now. Rodriguez with the RBI single. Sean smashed one hard. Too hot to handle for first baseman Brian DePerick. Now Blake Balcom could almost sew this one up for the... a throw to first. Oh, safe. How did DePerick miss the tag? Now Julio Garcia is coming out to confront the base umpire Chris Bakke. Boy, oh boy, the throw beat Rodriguez by at least a second and a half, Matt Moss. The only explanation that the base umpire Bakke can be giving to skipper Garcia behind the mound is that the first baseman missed the tag.
Yeah, I'm surprised by this one.
I mean, Rodriguez he was beat. Yeah, he was caught way off, and Sean somehow dodged the tag. The reason I think the umpire made the right call, Chris Bakke, is DePerick himself didn't argue. I think Garcia may have been asking more for an explanation than vehemently arguing, although he may have done a little of both. Now Blake Balcom, with runners at the corners and 1 out, takes a curve just outside for a ball. Clay Rapada is the kind of guy that if you were in the ballpark, you would want so badly to get into the Colonel dugout, grab a bat, and march to the plate yourself because he's a soft tosser, a submariner. And his 76-mile-an-hour pitch is a strike call. Now, I'm not belittling him. He's highly effective. But because he's so unorthodox, you really have to adjust to his speed.
He's not overpowering the batters. He's using finesse.
Blake whistles an 86-mile-an-hour pitch into the screen, and there's the contrast between his fastball and his East changeup pitch. 4-2 Kernels, bottom of the 8th inning. Clay Rapada, a slow-throwing submarine lefty ahead of Blake Balcom. A snap throw to first, and Rodriguez just got back. This guy is showing every pickoff move known to man. That time he whips it over without moving any part of his body but his left arm.
Reminds me of a gunslinger.
Exactly what it looked like. Here's a little looper into center. Get out! Big hit! Base hit! In front of the diving center fielder. 5-2 Kernels. Coming home with the second run of the inning is Matt Pauley to make it 5-2. Blake Balcom broke his bat and jumped the Texas League RBI single just out of the reach of the diving center fielder Chris Walker, and it's 5-2 Kernels, and the Lugnut pitching coach is wearing a pass from between the Lugnut third base dugout and the mound. Poor Mike Anderson is getting in a workout tonight.
Chris Walker had full extension on that diving attempt.
And you know what, Matt? If anybody could have caught it, it was him with his great jump and speed. He made a whale of an effort, but his diving attempt was just short. Sean Rodriguez went to second as Matt Pauley scored from third to make it 5-2 Kernels here in the 8th inning. Boy, I'll tell you what, the Kernels have been so resourceful and opportunistic tonight. We've really looked not overmatched, but just kind of uptight the first 5 innings. Just uptight.
Good ball clubs can take those subtle opportunities, little opportunities, and use them to blow the game open for them, too.
And that's what's happened here, essentially.
That's exactly what they've done.
5-2 Kernels. Kimpton, the batter. Nick is 2 for 3. And he loops a base hit over the shortstop's head, And the bases are loaded. Good base running by the runner at second, Rodriguez. Sean stopped because he wasn't sure if Carlos Rojas climbing the ladder would come down with that one. Carlos just about did catch it. He got a glove on it. Nick Kimpton with his third straight hit loads the bases with still only one out, and the batter is Aaron Peel. Aaron could truly put this one on ice for the Kernels. Peel, a right-handed batter with the bases loaded, has walked his last two times up. Strike one called from Rapada. The Kernels have finally surpassed the Lugnuts in the hit column, 9-8.
One of those walks for Peel, was he walk home, John?
Well, he walked in an inning that a Kernel did score on a walk, Bobby Wilson. Yes,
okay.
He was one of three Kernels to walk in the Kernels' three-run sixth inning, the inning which the Kernels had just one hit. Peel has walked his last two times up. Aaron is trying to sew this one up. Ball two is outside from the lefty, Clay Rapada, R-A-P-A-D-A. Slim, tall lefty. Rodriguez at third, Balcom at second, Kimpton at first, and a strike is in on the outside corner at the knees. Aaron Peel steps out. Count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bob Zimmerman continues to warm up in the Kernel right field bullpen. Outfield extremely shallow for Peel. Ooh, boy, ball 3. Clay Rapada winces. He thought he had Peel struck out looking. I did too. I cannot believe how shallow Chris Walker is in center field. He's daring Peel to try to drive one over his head. Ball 4, Rapada can't believe that, and it's 6-2 Kernels. 6-2 Kernels. Sean Rodriguez crosses the plate. It's been a 3-run inning. That is the third walk in a row drawn by Aaron Peel, and now the Kernels are up by 4. The 8th man to bat in the inning is Quan Cosby. The only question is, will he? No, he will not. He will not face Clay Rapada.
Now more of that path wearing going on there at the mound.
A right-hander has come on for the Lugnuts, and as the pitching change is made, it'll give us a chance to make a very attractive announcement to all of you youth baseball, softball, and t-ball coaches, whether it's a private league, a YMCA league, whatever kind of league you're coaching. How would you like to treat your team to the thrill of taking the field before the game and getting the autograph of Kernel players on the field as they stand next to them for the national anthem? That's what your team can be, the Cost Cutters Dream Team. The Cost Cutters Dream Team kids, your team, can take the field with the Kernels, stand next to them for the national anthem, receive an autograph from the Kernel player on a Cost Cutters souvenir baseball. All you need to do to check into available dates as the Cost Cutters Dream Team is called Jessica Ferguson, 896-7612. 896-7612 to inquire about signing your team up as the Cost Cutters Dream Team. The Kernels have been a dream team here in the bottom of the 8th inning. They've scored 4 runs and lead it 6-2 over Lansing. Matt, I haven't had a chance to identify this Lugnut right-hander.
Well, John, I'm going to go ahead and give him a view here with the binoculars. Look at his number.
Number 38, Ryan Kalita. Kalita Army League.
Ryan Kalita is his name. 6'2", 205-pounder.
Yes.
Right-hander from Oak Park, Illinois.
And it's his first appearance since joining the ball club. K-A-I. Well, it's
K-A-L-I-T-A.
There we go.
Kalita.
K-A-L-I-T-A. Ryan Kalita with 1 out and the bases loaded is now pitching to switch hitter Quan Cosby. Infield in for Lansing. A ground ball to second could be 2. No, the second baseman throws home for a force out of Blake Balcom. Well, with Quan Cosby batting left-handed, I think Robinson Chirinos made the right choice. I don't know if Lansing could have gotten 2. Actually, Chirinos was playing at halfway depth. I said he was in. He was halfway. He forces Balcom. Quan does 4-2. Chirinos to the catcher, Adam Rick. Quan now is at first base. 9th man to bat in the inning with 2 out and the bases loaded is Howie Kendrick. Ball 1 outside from Ryan Kalita.
John, I'd definitely have to say that Chirinos made the correct play there. His momentum was carrying him towards home plate, and to throw it back a second to try to get the double play ball, that would have been a really tough throw.
Yeah, too risky, and perhaps, Matt, you're right. He may not have even gotten a force at second with that. His body language was
right.
Coming home, and that's where he threw it for the fourth. 2 gone. Ball 1 outside from Kalita to Howie Kendrick. Ground ball to the right side. Good play to knock it down, and after the bubble, Howie Kendrick is thrown out by Robinson Chirinos, and that ends the very, very big Colonel 8th inning. 9 men batted. The Colonels score 4 runs on 4 hits. No Lansing errors, and the Colonels leave the bases loaded. We've stranded 8. Bob Zimmerman's going to come on to try to help the Colonels up their homestand record to 6-2. We go to the top of the 9th inning, and the Colonels now lead Lansing. Hold on a minute. The Colonels scored 3 runs. 3 runs in the 8th inning on 4 hits. We go to the top of the 9th inning, and the Colonels lead Lansing 6-2. And you're listening to Colonel Baseball on the Zone.
Multitasking is today's buzzword. We're parents, employees, board members, spouses, caregivers. The list goes on. Your local Pekin Insurance Agency, Sheets Forest Draper Insurance in Marion, is great at multitasking, too. Sheets Forest Draper will find the right insurance coverages for you. See Scott Draper of Sheets Forest Draper for coverages on your home, auto, life, health, and business. Finding the right insurance is one less task for you to do when you depend on your hometown professionals with Pekin Insurance.
A batter connecting with one right on the sweet spot is one of the most comforting sounds of summer. Thanks to Comfort Solutions by Banks, you can experience the comforting sounds of our national pastime in a home comfort system from Lennox. You can count on Comfort Solutions by Banks for friendly sales and service, free quotes, and high-efficiency, environmentally friendly Lennox equipment. Receive up to a $1,000 rebate or up to a 10-year extended warranty with the purchase of qualifying Dave Lennox Signature Collection Home Comfort Systems from Comfort Solutions by Banks. Offer expires May 31st, 2004. One offer per qualifying installation. Lennox, making your home a better place. Lennox dealers include independently owned and operated businesses. See your participating Lennox dealer, Comfort Solutions by Banks, for details.
We have the Colonel 8th inning straight. 3 runs on 5 hits, no Lugnut errors, and 3 left. Bob Zimmerman is the Colonel hurler to start the 9th inning, following Aaron.
3 runs, all earned, 1 walk. 4 strikeouts, 24.
We finally have a crooked line on Clay Rapada. The Lansing reliever will give it to you in a moment and also give you some interesting information about Clay Rapada. But back to the action. 1-1 is the count to the Lansing left-handed batter, Alan Rick, and Bob Zimmerman misses inside. It's 2-1. The final line on Clay Rapada: 1 inning pitch, 3 runs, 5 hits, no strikeouts, 1 walk. A pitch by Zimmerman is knuckled foul into the premier seats above the Lansing third base dugout, and we had no idea when we were kind of intrigued and curious about Clay Rapada's unorthodox delivery, Matt, that we did something that no other team has done in quite a while.
Well, evidently the unorthodox southpaw submariner has a great deal of success.
Ball 3 up and in from Zimmerman to the left-handed batter.
Thankfully not here tonight, but our colleague next to us, the Lansing Lugnut broadcast, Seth Van Oben, told us that Clay Rapada gave his first earned run here tonight in 18 appearances.
Jiminy, that is something. Ooh, a fastball. Bob Zimmerman and the Colonels thought they had the batter struck out, but the 9th inning begins with Bob Zimmerman just missing to Alan Rick on a 3-2 delivery, and Alan walks. Aaron Pullen, 2/3 of an inning, got that crucial double play in the top of the 8th with the Colonels leading 3-2. Pumping one foul above the Colonel first base dugout is Robinson Chirinos. We're going to have a word with our spotter, Ann and Eric Kern. Ann, you're down there, and that ricochet came mighty close to conking somebody in the head. Is everybody all right down there in the front row? Well, Bob Teague, our dugout interview guest earlier this evening, is explaining to Ann Hearn in the front row of the premier seat to the right or to the left of the Colonel dugout that apparently he's all right. The ball hit him in the left hand. So Bob Teague must be all right. John Teague's father, a swing and a miss on an 0-2 pitch. Robinson Chirinos was blown out of the water by Bob Zimmerman. Bob was the tough luck loser here Tuesday. He last worked Tuesday here at home against the Dayton Dragons. He went 2 innings and gave up 2 runs on 4 hits. Here's a fly ball into right. The second out of the ninth by Drew Larson. Drew Larson flies to right, and there are 2 gone in the 9th inning. Bob Zimmerman on Tuesday gave up 4 runs on 4 hits, struck out 4, walked none in a Colonel 2-1 loss to the Dayton Dragons. Remember, Dayton broke a scoreless tie Tuesday night in the top of the 9th inning against Bob Zimmerman. Well, we're down to the possibility of a Colonel opening win in this series opening win as Bob Zimmerman delivers low to Alberto Garcia.
John, it would be a very auspicious beginning to this 4-game series to pick up a win tonight with what you described as a tightly wound start to this game for the Colonels.
It sure would. Fouling one off to the right. Strike 1 is Alberto Garcia. He's 0-for-2. He gave Lansing a 2-0 lead with the sacrifice fly in the 5th inning. Bob Zimmerman is on for Kernels.
Evidently someone must have told a joke or followed your advice down there in the dugout, because the Colonels seem to have loosened up about mid-game here.
That's exactly what I think happened. Plus, they got a little bit more patient at the plate, and let's face it, the Lugnuts really helped us with a critical error in the Colonel 3-run 6th inning. Foul back, straight over the screen, and Bob Zimmerman's ahead of the third baseman, the number 8 hitter Alberto Garcia, a right-handed batter, 1-2. Here's Bob's 1-2. Looped foul. Matt Pauley near the Colonel dugout will run out of room. It's 2 rows up in the premier seat. 6-2 Colonels, top of the 9th inning. We've out-hit Lansing 9-8. The Lugnuts have made 2 errors, the Colonels none. And Bob Zimmerman is facing Alberto Garcia with a runner at first, 2 outs in this top of the 9th inning. A Colonel win would our homestand record to 6-2 and would put pressure on Kane County. They lead the Colonels in Peoria by a game. Kane County's hosting South Bend. The crowd comes alive. A number in front of the plate. Bobby Wilson, bare hands, on to first for the out. It was not an easy play. The ball had all sorts of backspin on it, but Bobby Wilson was able to field it cleanly with his bare hand, and he winged it to first to get Garcia. It went 2-3 in the 9th for Lansing. No runs, a leadoff walk, no hits, no Colonel errors. The Lugnuts give a runner. They've stranded 6. The Colonel trailed after 5.5 innings, 2-0, but came back to win it 6-2. 6-2 Colonels. Totals, highlights, and more coming next on the Colonel Curtain Call. You're tuned to Colonel Baseball on the Zone.
When we met, spaghetti would never forget the Ojanos. Now it's where mi amore and I dine in. We carry out the lunch, the dinner, all the time for lasagna, ravioli, mandacati, cannelloni, tortellini, or try the delicious salads and sub sandwiches. The Ojanos is the hometown taste of Italy. For your next meal with friends and a family, remember the Ojanos with 5 convenient locations for the pasta that makes you sing.
Step up to the plate this summer and nominate your favorite Cedar Rapids Colonel for the Rockwell Collins Fans Choice Award. Every time you catch a Colonels game, fill out a Fans Choice ballot to recognize the efforts of your favorite ball player. Then drop the ballot in the designated box at the souvenir stand. During the season's final homestand, Rockwell Collins will present the Fans Choice Trophy to the player with the most votes and make a donation to that player's favorite charity. Rockwell Collins and the Cedar Rapids Colonels, partners on and off the field.
Traveling today can be somewhat hectic, even downright confusing at times.
Why not let Tri-State Travel take all that frustration out of your travel plans? Whether you want to experience a cruise, enjoy a weekend getaway in Las Vegas, or just need to make airline, rental car, or hotel reservations, Tri-State Travel's Westdale Mall office can help. Our experienced staff can lower your travel stress levels so you can get more enjoyment out of your journey. Stop by Tri-State Travel's Westdale Mall office today and get ready to travel worry-free.
It's time for the Kernels Curtain Call, right here on the Zone, ESPN Radio 1600 AM. With a recap of all the action, the State Farm Major League Scoreboard, plus a look ahead to the next Kernels game, let's rejoin the voice of the Kernels, the one, the only John Rogers, here on the Zone, ESPN Radio 1600 AM.
2,657 fun-loving fans, many of them from Arthur Elementary School, sat in and cheered the Kernels home to a 6-2 series opening victory over Lansing Lugnuts. John Rogers with you here. We'll keep things moving on the Kernel Curtain Call with Scott Unash waiting in the wings at Hawkeye Downs. Lansing scored a run without a hit in the first inning off Abel Marino, and the Lugnuts made it 2-0 with a run in the fifth inning off Abel Marino. A bases loaded, nobody out, sacrifice fly by Alberto Garcia staked Lansing to a 2-0 lead. The Kernels, though, got a leadoff double, or a one-out double from Nick Kimpton in the sixth inning, and that helped the Kernels get started on the comeback trail. Aaron Peel walked. Nick Kimpton advanced to third on a buck. And then the key play in the game, a ground ball to third with Lansing leading the game 2-0. Alberto Garcia threw home trying to get Nick Kimpton. The ball hit Kimpton in the back. He scored to make it 2-1. Bobby Wilson, with the bases loaded, drew a walk to tie the game at 2, and then Matt Brown put the Kernels ahead 3-2 with his team-high 41st RBI in the Kernel 3-run sixth inning with the sacrifice fly. The Lugnuts threatened to tie the game with one out in the eighth inning. They had runners at first and second. Evan Collins, a .336 hitter, facing Kernel reliever Aaron Pullen. Aaron got him on a double play, and that really turned the tide because the Kernels stepped in the bottom of the eighth inning and scored 3 runs off submarining lefty Clay Rapada, the submarining lefty giving up his first earned run since early April, 18 consecutive appearances without giving up an earned run. The key hit in that Kernel 3-run eighth inning were RBI singles by Sean Rodriguez and Blake Balcom. Here's the final line score: 6 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors, 6 runs, 9 hits, no errors committed by the Kernels. We stranded 8. Lansing 2 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors. They left 6. The winning pitcher was Abel Marino. He gave up just 2 runs and struck out 6 and 7 1/3. He's 4-2. The loser, a tough luck loser, was Lansing starter Randy Wells. He deserved a better fate. He slips to 1-5. 3 of the 3 runs he gave up, only 1 was earned. The game took 2 hours and 37 minutes, and we had 2,657 here to see it. Up next on the Kernel Curtain Call are Liberty Bank star plays of the game. You're tuned to Kernel Baseball on the Zone.
Sealer.
At Zimmerman's, we believe that the voice of the customer speaks the loudest. Let's hear what our customers have to say.
We chose Zimmerman because our family has been buying cars. I guess we're probably the 3rd generation to buy cars here at Zimmerman's.
My family's bought 18 cars at Zimmerman's. 18. I ought to get a little bonus or something, wasn't it?
We build our reputation on one satisfied customer at a time. On behalf of everyone at Zimmerman's, I want to thank you for your business.
Rev it up! Get the key to buying and selling your next vehicle with the Corridor edition of Wheels for You. This automotive publication is available in over 400 locations near you every other Friday. Pick up your free copy today and put yourself in the driver's seat with Wheels for You. Call 800-397-8234 to place your ad today or visit us online at www.corridorwheelsforyou.com. Wheels for You, a publication of Gazette Communications.
Hundreds of kids from Arthur Elementary School enjoying a trot around the bases following a Kernel 6-2 triumph over Lansing. The Kernel win now ups our 11-game homestand record to a sterling 6-2. Eastern Iowa's fastest-growing community bank, Liberty Bank, is now proud to present our Liberty Bank star play of the game. It took place in the Lansing 8th inning. The Kernels scored 3 in the bottom of the 6th to erase the Lansing 2-0 lead. Abel Marino walked the leadoff batter Chris Walker in the 8th, the league's leading base stealer, but picked him off. Carlos Rojas followed with a single, so did Brian DePerrick, and the Kernel lead was in jeopardy. 2 out, 1 on, top of the 8th, and in came right-hander Aaron Pullen in relief of Abel Marino. Here is our Liberty Bank star play of the game. Aaron Pullen's in a heap of trouble. He's behind one of the best hitters in the league, 3-1. A grounder to short, could be 2. Rodriguez to Howie 1. Got it! What a huge double play! Aaron Pullen got one of the league's most dangerous hitters to stroke a one-hopper to Sean Rodriguez. Rodriguez calmly underhand to Howie Kendrick, and then Howie's throw in plenty of time to complete the inning-ending 6-4-3 double play. That's why we picked it as our Liberty Bank star play of the game. 6-2 Kernels, and a look ahead next on the Colonel Curtin call, the State Farm Major League Scoreboard. You're tuned to Colonel Baseball on the Zone.
Most of us have been in a situation before in buying an automobile where what we owe is more than what our vehicle is worth. And sometimes it's thousands of dollars. There is a better way to put yourself in a better position when it comes to value, quality, and reliability. Put yourself into an industry-leading Honda automobile from Randy Keel Honda. The Odyssey minivan boasts being #1 in safety and the #1 minivan on the market for the last 5 years. The Honda Accord leads the way in safety and has made the Car and Driver's Top 10 list more than any other car in history. The Pilot topped the SUV categories in its first year out and remains a class leader. And the CRD continues leading in its class since its arrival in 1997. The subcompact Element is so functional and practical, they're selling as fast as they arrive. So doesn't it make sense to get the best value in market at Randy Keel Honda? Great folks to deal with, too, and #1 when it comes to getting you the best price. The home of confidence is Randy Keel Honda, Centerpoint Road, or on the web at randykeel.com.
6-2 Kernels. What a great way to kick off the Memorial Day weekend here at the new Veterans Memorial Stadium. A crowd of over 2,600 saw the Kernels rally from a 2-0 deficit with 3 in the 6th, 3 in the 8th. Aaron Pullen getting a key double play in the top of the 8th helped Abel Marino win his 4th of the year. We should have our State Farm Major League scores at any moment now. Let's tell you that the State Farm... Okay, here's what we're going to do. Because of Hawkeye Downs racing this evening, we're going to go ahead and send it out to Scott Unish and tell you that Fridays are a little bit exceptional in that your sports leader, The Zone, has Hawkeye Downs racing for you next, and we'll make sure that we pick things up right where they should be tomorrow on the Colonel Curtin call with a look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard. Colonel Broadcast Assistant Matt Moss, a final word on a Colonel big win.
Well, John, I'm just glad to see things come through, and they didn't start out quite as well as we'd hoped, or quite as well as we wanted, and hung tough, and mid-game things opened up, and they took the chances and ran with it, and got that key first victory
in the series. And as a matter of fact, we're going to hustle through the State Farm Major League scoreboard, and it's brought to you by State Farm Insurance agents Dale Thompson, Gary Hubat, Al Shetler, and Lanny Peterson.
In the National League at PNC Park, the Cubs and the Pirates met in a doubleheader. The Pirates took the first game by a score of 9-5, and in the, well, let me see here.
That's all right.
Yeah, that first game they took by a score of 9-5, and the second game is in the top of the 6th, and the Cubs hold a 3-1 lead. The Reds defeated the Expos at Olympic Stadium, Montreal, by a score of 7-6. The final in 10 innings, the Phillies defeated the Braves by a score of 3-2. That game played at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia. The Marlins defeated the Mets by a score of 2-1 in the top of the 8th. The Cardinals have a 1-0 edge over the Astros. In the bottom of the 8th at Miller Field, the Padres hold a 3-2 lead over the Brew Crew. And in the top of the 1st, the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers are scoreless at Dodger Stadium. In the American League, in the bottom of the 7th, after rain delay, the Red Sox and the Mariners at Fenway Park, the Red Sox hold a 6-4 lead over the Mariners. A final from Jacob Field in Cleveland, the Tribe sunk the Athletics by a score of 1-0, a low-scoring affair. At Comerica Park in Detroit, the Orioles flew past the Tigers by a score of 7-4. No, I'm sorry, the bottom of the eighth. That game not quite over yet, but the Orioles are working on a 7-4 lead. A final from the Sky Dome. The Blue Jays defeated the Rangers by a score of 5-4. And at Tropicana Field, the Yankees upended the Devil Rays by a score of 7-5. And in the bottom of the seventh, at U.S. Cellular Field on the south side of Chicago, our parent club, the Angels and the White Sox, are tied at 2 apiece.
A wonderful job of the State Farm Major League scoreboard. Good news, Mike Kuhlbeck right on the ball, the Colonel Director of Public Relations and Marketing, giving us good news on the Midwest League front as an addendum to the State Farm Major League scoreboard. In Geneva, Illinois tonight, the Colonels got big help from South Bend as they blanked the Cougars of Kane County 2-0, and that means the Colonels have moved into a tie for first place, and Peoria looks like they'll be in a tie for first. They are pounding Wisconsin in the land of Lincoln 10-0 in top of the 8th inning. So tomorrow there will likely be a 3-way tie atop the Western Division first half standings. 6-2 Colonels. Bev Taylor, our in-studio engineer. For Colonel broadcast assistant Matt Musk, I'm John Rogers. Stay tuned because coming your way next, the thrills and spills of Hawkeye Downs Racing. You're listening to Colonel Baseball on the Zone.